What is up, everybody? Is today Monday? Happy Monday. It is Monday. Whoa, what a day. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. I am your host, Matthew McKim, and I have a good show for you today. Hope you guys had a good weekend and hope the start of the week went pretty good for you guys. Mondays are tough. Today's Monday for me was crazy. I don't know if you guys, I don't know. Does anyone here watch Zach Costello? Zach's dope. Zach's a really good man of God, good husband, good father, good person, you know? And he had a great show today. He tore Graham Allen apart. You know, this is a team effort, what we're doing here. Every I mean, for the people that are, I think, in pursuit of truth and justice for Charlie, and not everyone that has a channel is doing that, but Zach is. And, you know, I was watching Graham Allen on Rumble, and he started saying some things, and I was like, oh, no, Zach did a show on this before. And I was like, bro, you got to check this out. And he was like, yeah, it went right in line with how Zach called him out before. And Zach did such a good job. Yeah, my water right here. Thank you. And Graham just constantly thinks he's like debunking and like shutting Candace down. And then constantly just steps on a rake, like Zach said, just in the face all the time. And he did it today. Proving. And then if you think about, you know, Gary Melton, right, where he released, was it like a Grok thing on X where he admitted to being part of this like group chat of people trying to counter what we're doing, pursuing truth and justice for Charlie, and getting out like disinformation pretty much and propaganda and FedSlop BS. You put that together with what Graham said, and he's like working for the Department of War as a strategic something consultant. And he's like, I wasn't part of planning the war in Iran. I was planning, you know, countering disinformation online and, you know, media and, you know, social media and news and comms. And we were like, yeah, we know. We never thought you were in the Department of War doing any sort of plans for Iran, bro. This has been our argument the whole time. This is what you guys are all doing. You guys are working in coordination with the administration, or at least up to the government of war with like Kash Patel. He even said he's part of the rapid response team, which is the team that was deployed on Candace when she was FOIAing records and stuff from the FBI. And it's just crazy. It was crazy. But aside from that, I had a crazy day at work. So it's been a long day. I just got in front of the camera and ready to go. All right, let's do it. If you guys haven't done so already, please do me a favor and hit the like. Hit the like and the subscribe, pretty please, on your way in, or at least do it before your way out. All right. It's the best way to help support a channel for free. It's the best way to help support a channel. All right. Tonight's show. If you saw the thumbnail, Erica Kirk, bro, it's so hard. Habit's so hard to break sometimes. Erica Francfe, even in the thumbnail, I was like, oh my goodness. Lori Francfe and James Kaddis. And the reason why Lori's in there is because we're going to go back to the very beginning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start out with a clip of Erica Francfe, okay? And I think it's interesting. The day before Candace, I don't know. It must be the Holy Spirit. I don't know. I don't talk with her. I don't think she watches the show. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if she did. I don't think she does. She's way too busy. She's doing way too many things. But the day before she was like, long live Erica Francfe, that night before was the show that I was like, I refuse to call her Erica Kirk anymore. She doesn't deserve that name ever again. Okay. She hijacked that name. She stole that name. She does not represent that name. And I refuse to do it. So if you catch me doing it, it's because habits are hard to break. But yeah, I agree. Erica Franzfey, forever. So we're going to start out, and this is just days after the assassination. Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Keep this in mind that she is supposed to be a grieving widow just days after her. Okay, look at, if she didn't have time to prepare herself, like if she didn't have foreknowledge and like know that he was going to be gone, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. Her behavior, her words, what she's focusing on. Here's, you guys, hear me out. 2-3 days after, so this might have been 4 days after. This is like the day after she went on the Charlie Kirk Show for the first time in her white suit, touching the chair with the necklace, and did that horrible show. And I think that was 72 hours or, you know, yeah, it was like 48 or 72 hours after. So this is just after that. It's within the first week. There's no way you could talk about your partner who just was brutally assassinated and was robbed from you and this world and your children without breaking down. Within the first week, every time you talk about your partner who was just murdered, you would cry. Hands down. Because every time you talk about your partner, especially that close, 5 days or less, you're going to be thinking about them in the present tense. You're going to be visualizing them like they're still there because the brain and your emotions haven't accepted that they're not there yet. There's no way. You can't move from the initial onset of grief to acceptance in 5 days. Nope. Get out of here. And anyone defending her and saying that, oh, it's by the grace of God, it's because she's so holy. Get out of here. Who are you? You guys are disgusting. No, that's just not real. No. If she loved him, if she actually loved him, that she'd be crying like she would be tearing up, choking up, just talking about him. She's smiling. She says she's excited. She's happy. She's glowing. How do you explain that? I mean, the only way to explain that in my mind is she's part of it, in my opinion. There's no other way to see that, in my opinion. Because if she didn't have foreknowledge and she really does think that he was assassinated and she had no part in it, none of this would happen like this. And this is what I'm starting to think. I definitely think Erica Kirk and Andrew Kolvet and the security team and probably Terrell Farnsworth and Philip Goldsberry had foreknowledge. I'm still trying to work out in my head who had complete foreknowledge, okay, of what they were actually going to do. I think it's possible that they tricked Charlie into believing they were going to do something different that day. I don't know what it is. And that some of the people, like Mikey and Blake, had a need to know, and they thought they were doing one thing, but they had no idea that actually they were going to assassinate him that day. Because the less people involved obviously makes it more plausible, but it is still plausible with many more people, just them all having a different need to know, and it's being compartmentalized. Not everyone needs to have all full understanding and knowledge of the full scope of the plot. Okay. People could be holding different parts of information as to what they were doing that day. But you'll see time and time again, like Blake and Mikey. Okay, none of them are innocent, by the way. None of them. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. None of them are innocent. They're all guilty. To what degree? I'm trying to figure that out, though. To what degree? But they're all guilty, period, in my opinion. But you'll see that Andrew Kolvet and Erica Kirk they really lead the way early on. And they're the ones leading the way together early on, and they continue to. Mikey gets floated out in front of us in the beginning. They realize he's not selling it. Mikey's not selling it. We got to get him out of there. Get him out of there. They get him out. Blake, not selling it like Andrew and Erica, but not as bad as Mikey. But they're allowing him to be in front of the camera still. But they're all guilty to one degree or another of being part of this, in my opinion. Let's see. Dee Dee today showed Terrace, and Hunter signing to each other before he asks the question. Hunter makes gun with hand. Okay, well, sort of. Okay, that's an old video. I know exactly what you're talking about. Hunter does make the gun hand symbol, and he points it at Charlie, and it's right after Charlie says something about, I think, Muslims or Muhammad or something like that. And I guess that's just unacceptable for Hunter Kozak. I don't know for sure if Hunter was signing to Terrell. What it looks like is Hunter is doing something suspicious. Terrell, Phillip, and then the black cameraman next to Terrell, he's pointing at Terrell is like letting them know, and he's like pointing at Hunter and like saying something. And they're either communicating with one another, or Terrell and Phillip, and I don't know the black cameraman's name. Sorry, the dude. Okay. They're communicating together about Hunter. I don't know which it is. Okay. But it could be that they were sending signals, but it could also not be. What I've seen, it's not conclusive that for sure 100% they're sending signals back and forth. But it's possible. I mean, evil is evil. And I definitely believe Hunter Kozak and Terrell Farnsworth and Phillip Goldsberry are freaking evil. You know? All right. Without further ado. Oh, and I have more videos of Erica and James Kaddis just giving us more stuff to just not like him, not trust him, and to watch them be very, very sus. You know? Yeah. But we'll start here. Let's start here, guys.
Erica Kirk, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks. It's surreal to actually be sitting because last time I was standing, but yeah.
Okay, so the last time she's standing, she's talking about when she's standing with the white suit, when she's there by herself and she's addressing the nation, and she goes, the words of this widow will echo like a battle cry. She should have had like Braveheart freaking blood face on and been like, ah. It would have been just as unbelievable. You know what I mean? The reason why I paused it is because I got to front load something. I don't know if everyone pays attention to body language, affect. So look at her facial expression, see if it matches the words coming out of her mouth. Newsflash, they never do. They never match the words coming out of her mouth. And there's a couple reasons why, right? She could be a sociopath, a psychopath, a narcissist. The main reason is if her body inside is not registering truth with that emotion that she's saying, she's not good at conveying it, you know? She's not a trained actor. I do agree that, or actress, I do agree that she probably got training somewhere, you know, but probably a crash course. Look how bad she is, you know? But the other problem is like everyone in her life, wait till you watch it. Everyone in her life tells her how amazing she is, how great she's doing, how beautiful she is, how articulate she is. Just what a leader, what a woman. Oh, no, that's not what we see. we see fake Franzve. All right.
I don't know. Just a sit. It's a little more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you are rightly at the head of the table, and we're just so honored to have you here. I know that you have been, to say that your life has been a whirlwind would be the understatement of the century. And to make time for Charlie's audience and to speak to them, I know that they can't wait to hear from you, and just to see you in this room probably means a lot to them. And you've been up against so much, and you've been doing an incredible, incredible job. The number of messages I've heard just complimenting you and your dignity and your poise and your strength has been overwhelming. And we're just
okay. Also, so look at how Andrew and Erica, they are matching each other's energy. They are not in grief at all. Charlie's freaking picture is like hitting them in the face right there. Like, okay, listen to this. I've dealt with death a lot. Okay. My grandmother passed away when I was like 7. My best friend unalived himself when I was 14. My dad passed away when I was 12. My other grandma passed away when I was 16. I've dealt with a lot of death and loss. And when you love someone and they spent a lot of time in your life and they hold a special place in your life, you can't look at anything that reminds you of them at all without breaking down in the first like 6 months to a year. You know, it gets better as it goes on, but like there's some times where it's uncontrollable. Within the first week, get out of here. In the first week, I couldn't even give me a break. Smells, sounds, textures, all of that just reminds you of them. And then you picture it and your memory, it just shoots into your brain. You have no control over it. It just consumes you. It transports you back to that time when they were alive. And it's like you were there with them. And it's like you don't know what to do. It's like consuming grief from head to toe. Not Erica. Not Erica. What the freaking heck? Not Andrew. Look at Blake and Mikey, though. It's different. They're not innocent. I don't know how many times I need to say this, so please don't think that I'm like thinking they're innocent. I'm not. But how they're behaving is different. Mikey's going to cheer up in a minute, though. Don't worry. The freaking Mikey McCoy, the miraculous, the marvelous, the general Mikey McCoy, who ran away for all of us, is going to cheer up in a minute. But Blake seems to be either just full on acting, like he's just like somber, like I can't look. That's not even real, but he's not as happy as Andrew and Erica. So, I mean, there's that. All right. So just pay attention to them, all of their body language, their tone, their facial expressions, and then the words they're saying. And then I won't pause it a lot, but I wanted to point that out.
so glad you're here.
No, I'm grateful. I mean, I know we talked about this. We prayed on it. We really tried to
For one day.
discern properly how to go about the next few stages and steps of everything. And we've been very intentional
No, you haven't.
in a way that always keeps Charlie first
No, it's not.
and his dreams alive and his legacy going.
That's gross. That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to try my best. All right. There's no way you can that soon talk about him in the past tense and about what he was supposed to be doing himself. He was supposed to be doing it. He was 31. Now you're doing it. His dreams. Oh my gosh. It makes me so happy that I get to do his dreams. I know he was murdered and stolen from me, but I get to do it. So yeah, I don't know anyone ever that I've ever met that's lost someone that could do that this soon. This is why people immediately started honing in on Erica, that like something's off. Julian Dory pointed it out. A lot of people tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. They're like, all right, they're pushing this whole everybody grieves differently thing. Okay. And then they're pushing like Megan. She goes on Megan, and Megan's like, you're so much holier than us. You forgave Tyler on the 21st. How did you do that? She's a liar. She's a freaking fraud. She was pushing and trying to taint the jury pool. She wanted also to come across as like this like other, like than worldly figure, this like better than everyone else figure. Like she wanted people's reverence, like Mother Mary. And like people have groupied to her like that. Go look at Lisa Knows. Ugh. Get me started, bro.
And what's so beautiful is to see all of you step in and do that. And so part of the reason why I agreed to come on, because this is not going to be a forever thing of me being on hosting the show, was because I gave assurance to people that Turning Point USA is continuing, and it is. I mean,
Okay. She gave assurance to people. Who would she need to assure? I'll wait. Who would need assurance? The donors. The donors would. The donors that were asking Charlie, like, what happens to TPUSA if you die? What if you're not here? Oh, and then we're supposed to believe he's like, yeah, my wife who, changes diapers and like does bottles and burps and naps and, colors on a napkin with my kids and on the wall with my kids and, goes on walks with my kids. Yeah. She's totally equipped and qualified to do this. Beauty queen. Yeah. Like reality dating show contestant person. Totally equipped to do this. Get out of here. She had to give assurance to the donors that were threatening and pressuring Charlie, the donors that Charlie said, get out of here. I don't care. Don't want your money. I'm done. Here's the thing. If she was looped into everything and knew everything, none of this would have happened. I mean, I think it is possible that she was looped in, not by Charlie. By Andrew, by James Kaddis, who is friends with BB's brother, other Calvary Chapel pastors, right? The TPUSA faith component, which has just perverted this whole thing. They've come in and just taken over. But she gave assurance to the people that didn't have assurance when Charlie was there. That's weird. You're not going to give assurance to the like lowlings, Who are you going to give assurance to? People that are putting a lot of money in, people that were taking money out. And then all this money came back in. You're going to hear it.
We are so blessed to have more work than we even could ever dream of. I mean, it's beautiful. And Turning Point Action, full steam ahead. So powerful. All of the other.
It seems like she should have broken out in a Disney song right there. That's what it seemed like should have happened. Gleefully overjoyed. Okay. More work than we've ever had before. That's weird. Charlie definitely was busy and had work, but he was losing things. Like he was hemorrhaging donors. Lost another Jewish donor today. Lost another Jewish donor today. These guys play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Bye. Erica comes in. Hi. Money? Let's play. Pay to play. That's Erica.
Programs within Turning Point USA. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone has their marching orders.
Yeah.
And the show, when we talked about this, became very intimate for me because I was there from the beginning of all of it.
No, she wasn't. She showed up on the scene in 2018. That's not the beginning. Okay. Look at how happy she is. How can you talk about the beginning, even though you're lying about when that beginning is, but you're talking about the time that you like met Charlie and began to fall in love with him, which I don't think you did at all, ever. He fell in love with you, sadly. But you can't, you're overjoyed thinking about the man that was just murdered 5 days, 6 days ago. And you're talking about when you met him, and you don't even get choked up at all. In fact, you're like, I can't even do that smile. It's so big. I can't. It hurts. She's good at it.
And I'll never forget 2020 when literally the world stood still. And Charlie and I would go hiking every morning. And we would just talk about what life, the crazy things going on. And we came home from one of our hikes that season, and my mom pulled him aside in the kitchen.
Listen to that.
And she goes, honey, they had a very good relationship.
BS.
My mom and Charlie were best friends.
I don't believe it. Lori's a neocon. Lori is a neocon. She has government contracts that benefit from us being at war. Okay. And then just, spying on Americans, which Charlie did not like either. Okay. He was not for spying on American citizens. Okay. And I mean, he was leaving everything completely that had to do with pro-Philly, period. Done. Not Erica and Lori.
Joked around that. I know. We joked around that he was the favorite child. But she loved him, still loves him. And she said, you know what, honey? She said, God has blessed you with an amazing voice. And you will be the Rush Limbaugh of your generation.
Okay. So what they were doing to Charlie, Charlie told us, okay, he looked up to Rush Limbaugh. He grew up like listening to him all the time, even when like he was younger and like most high school guys aren't listening to Rush. He was. He wanted to be this generation's Rush Limbaugh, at least growing up. Okay. Obviously, as he became a husband and father, his views on the world changed, and he wasn't going to be a neocon, and yeah. Anyway, they were manipulating Charlie. They were telling him things to get him to believe that they knew him fully and that they wanted what's best for him, calling him honey. So she came in 2018, 2020, her mom's calling him honey. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. I don't think my wife's mom's called me honey. Yeah. No, my wife's mom's never called me honey. And my wife's mom's great. Hi. She's amazing. But anyway, and then telling Charlie, like, just fluffing his ego, which he was very humble. So I don't know that even got to him, but I think that they were just trying to prop him up in this isolated area where he's getting further taken away from people like Candace and Tucker, and he has to fight to get out of his house and get service. Like, she hardwires the house, and then he's around the mother-in-law, who is straight up evil, like straight up evil. I don't believe that they were best friends. Anything these people say, I don't believe. So they were manipulating, controlling, isolating Charlie.
Mm-hmm. And 2 days later, you and him engaged in conversations about the show and about the podcast.
Well, it was, hey, we're going to be doing about 5 more episodes a week now. So just tell the team and make sure that happens.
3.
So Erica, they're hitting him from every angle. Erica and Laurie are telling him and pushing him in one direction. They're feeding him information, trying, to soft launch ideas and, theory, like helping him go into a certain direction. And then you have Andrew comes in and Blake and Mikey, and they all come in, and then they add on to it. They add on to it. When Charlie actually thought he could trust all the people around him, I don't know that he would have picked up on this. At least not Not in 2020. I definitely don't think in 2020, 2021, he had any inclination yet. It was after 2023, October 7th, when he started to really speak out against Philly in October 7th and how they were treating Candace and then Tucker and Megan, that things really ripped this riff in between everyone. But I think he really didn't know. I don't think he knew that he couldn't trust these people until it was too late. But they're all hitting him from different angles, nudging him in the direction they want him to go. Okay, feeding different information from each person.
Hours of this, 2 more hours of podcasting.
Yeah.
Like and he ran with that and the team ran with it. And to see the Charlie Kirk Show grow from that moment until now has been so humbling and beautiful. And he loved every single day. He read every email.
Yeah.
I know you guys have said that so many times, but I can vouch for that because there were times where he would forward me some of the emails that he would get and he wouldn't even say anything. He would just forward the email.
Mm-hmm.
And to me,
I wonder why he would want to forward his traditional housewife who's at home taking care of the kids an email from members in the community.
It was almost like an extended form of family. Okay,
notice that she's going to start putting out these concepts that we see in the Zoom phone call, the work phone call video, the Zoom phone call, just the audio, and then other appearances where she talks about everyone as family, as if she knows everyone by name personally. And most recently, 2 weeks ago, she tried to say that, like she knew, Huts. I know Huts. I know where you're from. I know your family. We have her on camera. We are on the audio phone call where she's like, yeah, no, I can't wait to get to know everybody's name. Okay. We have her on the show. Zach played it last week where she's like, no, Gigi and I remember Gigi and I think it might be this one actually. Gigi and I watch Charlie from home every day. Okay. That's not a slip up, guys. Okay. You can't watch Charlie from home every day and then 3, 4, 8, 9 months later, whatever it is, say, no, I was in the office every day except for like 1 day a week when Gigi had dance. That's not a mild like, I messed up there. No, they cannot both be somewhat true. It's one or the other. She was at home because there's so much more behind the being home. There's more evidence of them being home. Charlie did put the stuffed animal on the desk every episode. Why would he do that if Gigi was there? If Gigi wasn't watching from home to see, Mr. Buff Buff, baby Buff Buff, then why was Charlie putting it out there? Why did that happen? It was a different stuffed animal, like every couple of days. They were not there. She's lying about literally everything from the beginning.
you guys were the pulse point of and the connection point of Turning Point USA, TP Action, the Charlie Kirk Show. It was a triple threat.
Yeah.
And the audience was the master and main component of that, because Charlie and the Charlie Kirk Show is not just a show.
Yeah.
It has a movement attached to it. It has the youth movement attached to it. And so for Charlie, the audience was a barometer of what do we need to be focusing on? The audience is brilliant. How many times did a listener send in something and say, hey, this is going on. You need to dig deeper in this or check this out. And Charlie's show became and still is, and I'm going to get there in a second, but Charlie's show became the North Star for freedom of speech, but in a way where when he spoke and whatever came across his desk or whatever he put on the air was right.
Charlie would grow with America. His thoughts and feelings and beliefs evolved as all of ours did. Okay. Couple things out of that statement. It shows how powerful TPUSA is. Okay. that it's a barometer of the nation, the youth of the nation, which is the future of the nation, which is a lot of the votes that swung the election in Trump's favor. Charlie did respond to emails. He responded to the audience, and he knew what the audience wanted, and that's why he was pushing back on Bibi, pushing back on Philly, and pushing back on Jeffy Epi, Iran war, everything, because he was one of us. She lies. It's so early that at the time we couldn't have known when she said these things that they were lies. Now we do. She comes out and defends the war in Iran. She has her minions do it, but she's the boss. The buck stops with you, CEO. Partial owner of Charlie Kirk Show and Real America's Voice. Sorry. It does. Not sorry. You wanted it. Here's the smoke. Can't take it. Get out the kitchen, lady. They're not doing what Charlie did. Everything she just said that Charlie did was true. They're not doing that. They're not doing it at all anymore. And that's why you're having college students like that guy on X who used to like work at TPUSA, like literally like rip up the donor letters that they're sending to them and like saying, no, like so many of it, we're done. We're done. Okay. Charlie did a focus group in June or July with Andrew, with all the TPUSA chapter heads, like right after the Student Action Summit or during the Student Action Summit. It was all on Philly. All the things we still care about right now, that the Trump administration is not the most transparent administration ever. It's the opposite. And they're defending and they're shilling for. They have completely hijacked Charlie's legacy and ran it into the ground. And she lied right here. We just didn't know it at the time. We knew something was off, but now we know for a fact all of this is a lie. She didn't support Massey. She tried to say that Charlie would support the war in Iran. Guess what? I got a clip from Charlie. I got a clip. We're going to look at it. Okay. Right when the bombing happened, the 12-day war, the limited strike of Fordo in Iran, Charlie was against neocons who wanted a regime change. And he actually says, like, good on Trump. Trump knows the neocons want a regime change. They keep pushing for a regime change. And Trump is smart and he listened to me and no, they're not doing it. Charlie's gone. Regime change. What happened? TPUSA and Erica Kirk defend the regime change, said that Charlie would be okay with the regime change, that he would actually support the regime change. Then he gets they get community noted on X because people like pull up videos like the one I'm going to show. And they're like, no, Charlie's not for, in fact, he was like 100% against regime change. You can't be an honestly grieving widow that has nothing to do with the assassination and the takeover, the hostile takeover of your husband's organization and do what you've done since September 10th to today, unless you're in on it somehow. That is my opinion, and I'm sure it's most of ours here, but it just seems to be true. Let me read this. Keep fighting for truth. Thank you, Rob Arthur 631. Thank you. All right, let me catch back up. Wait, oh, I missed one. Oh, Rob Arthur, welcome to the team. Thank you for becoming a member. All right, let's continue.
Yes.
It wasn't inflated. It wasn't awkwardly optimistic that had no leverage behind it. It was the gold standard.
It was grounded in the
extremely
the
grounded
wisdom of the audience.
But
it was grounded in the collective wisdom of the audience. You guys, what's the collective wisdom of the audience right now? Tyler Robinson's not the lone gunman. That's the collective wisdom of the audience. Someone else killed Charlie Kirk. Collective wisdom of the audience. We don't need to be in Iran. Get us the heck out of Iran. Collective wisdom of the audience. Release the files, all of them. Release them now. Collective wisdom of the audience. Free speech absolutist was Charlie Kirk. He didn't believe any speech should be limited. Not even Tucker's, not even Candace Owens, no one's. Not even Nick Fuentes. Nobody's. They're out here daily themselves and their minions trying to just, not quench, that's not the word. Squash people's freedom to speak, freedom to speculate, freedom to allege, freedom to ask questions. All of that is speech. No, you need to have evidence. You need to have evidence. You know what's weird? I don't think Zach played it today. If he would have watched further, and I don't think we'll have time today, maybe, we'll see. We got a lot to do. In that clip, I'll get to that in a second. In that clip of Graham and Tom or Todd, whatever his useful idiot sidekick's name is, he's confused. He's got a Tennessee hat and an Alabama coffee mug. Make up your mind, bro. Anyway, they end up, okay, this is what's crazy. They're attacking Candace Owens, right, for believing in the exploding mic theory, which I do. I think it's one of the most plausible. There could be another receiver or something else under the shirt for sure. You see that square of, and I talked about this with someone as well, that if Charlie were wearing some sort of adhesive patch on him right underneath of his right, like, pectoral muscle right here on his rib cage, there had to have been something there that made a perfect rectangle, okay, with perfect edges, okay? Right edges don't occur naturally in nature, okay? Something had to be on the skin. Well, because all of the burn marks and the blood that we see, it's around this rectangle patch right here. Something had to be there to keep the blood and the burns from getting on that skin that was underneath the adhesive. And then they removed it. And then it's possible then they tried to burn that in the car. That's what I think maybe it is. Maybe that's what we see that was burned in the back of the car, was whatever adhesive was there that they took off and they tried to burn it and destroy the evidence. I don't know. That's the burning part of speculation, but there's for sure, go look at the photos, something was on Charlie's chest, on his ribs, okay? And it wasn't there when the photo was taken. Something had to have been removed when Charlie was on the floor after he was pushed out of the chair by Dan Flood. But the point is this, Candace is going in that direction. I'm in that direction for sure. Barron's in that direction. I think Zach is at least somewhat in that direction. Graham Allen and Tom or Todd played Nick Fuentes, not supporting any of his claims with evidence, just restating the Fed slop narrative. And then Graham goes, stop, and he goes, see, there's the evidence. And that's only 1% of the evidence. There's 99 more percent where that came from. All he did was quote the BS Fed slop, like evidence that isn't actual evidence. That's a Graham. That's one of TPUSA's number one shills, besides Gary and Lisa. All right, what do we got here? Quit gaslighting us. Okay, have been following all the things since 9/10, especially when EK stood by his desk, and rubbed the chair. Spiritual unrest, Thank you for preserving a space for mamas like me not to feel cray and alone. More are arriving here. Keep going. Thank you. Quit gaslighting us. I like your handle name. I appreciate your support, and I agree. Yeah, that's why. So, yeah, I don't cuss. I don't say things that are. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't talk foul. You know, I know that a lot of the community is watching this or listening to this while they're doing other things. You know, I don't do it anyway. I don't do it in front of my wife and my kids, but I don't do it here either, because out of the mouth, the heart speaks, and that's a representation of who I am. And so I'm very intentional about that. And people make fun of me because I say, like, what the frick or whatever, but whatever. That's me. I don't care. What do we got? A 1 Katie degree. Okay, in an interview, 2 girls were saying how they serve their husbands by cleaning the home, etc. EK's answer was to brush her hair and put on mascara. Oh, was it the interview? It's like, I think it's the one where she actually was talking about how she controlled Charlie's home environment by hardwiring the service in the house, like the Wi-Fi and stuff. They didn't have like Wi-Fi. They had to like plug in, and like he had to like turn over his phone. I think it's the one with like the one white girl and the one black girl, and it's like a podcast, and it's like a holistic mama's podcast. That might have been the one where there's 3 of them, and Erica's like over here, and then the 2 are over here. I've seen that one. Yeah. I mean, that's Erica. Oh, Erica.
Not only that, he had a team, still does, all of you, that was the sounding board of that. And collectively, each one of you are a piece of his brain.
No.
I know we've talked about this. Blake, economics, foreign policy. Andrew, pretty much a lot of stuff. Mikey.
That's funny. That is funny. Look at their faces. What was Andrew's contribution? Oh, I didn't. Some of this I'm watching live because I watched most of it, and then like I had to skip through to make sure all of it's good. She's like, Blake, economics, and like politics, world, whatever she said. And then she goes, Andrew Kolvet, a lot of stuff. She couldn't even come up with one thing that he contributed as the sounding board of the team. And then they all laugh because they all know it's true. That like, what does Andrew do? How does Andrew contribute? I don't know. He does a lot of stuff. What stuff? I don't know. I couldn't give you specifics. A lot of stuff, you know, telling Miriam Adelson all the secret stuff Trump said specifically to Charlie, but I was right there. So like, you know, I wanted money. Charlie said no to Bibi. Miriam's got some money. I'm going to take her information. That's how I can make up for the money that Charlie made me lose when he turned down the $180 million. That's what Andrew does. No, Andrew lies. He contributes that way. Charlie's like, no, bro, I don't lie. You don't lie now that you work here. We don't lie here. Andrew's like, I've been lying like this whole time. You just don't know. This is the first time you know. I'm just going to keep lying. I'm not going to tell you. That's Andrew. Let's see what Mikey's contribution is. Label or lapel laid wrong, and it didn't hit as expected. Had it, the paver emergency wouldn't have been needed. They scrambled because it misfired. Lots of hunters out there. The lapel laid just right. CIK? Charlie something Kirk? What does the CI? What does the I mean? Okay, but let me. Oh, hold on. I hit it when I'm small. You guys can't see me. Okay, lapel laid wrong. Yes. Here's the other thing that's weird. Go look at the people doing the pick up the mic for Charlie doing campus events right now. The road mic is on the outside of everyone's shirt. It's pretty weird. So, like I said before, if you go back to the beginning of this year and probably a little bit into 24, what you're going to see is they moved the mic from the outside, which was like 22, 23, maybe even 21, 22, 23. And then it used to always be on the outside. It used to have a windsock on it. Okay. At some point, they put it on the inside. And I think that is because they wanted to make it to where it wasn't so novel and new on that day. I don't know when they started planning or when some of these people started, going in that direction, or at least preparing for multiple contingencies. Okay. What's interesting is never did I ever see the mic set sideways like that. It wasn't flush. The reason why his shirt was like this, so many times, and I can show you, I've shown it in previous videos, the magnet was crooked and it did create like a little bit of a twist in the shirt. That was normal. What wasn't normal, the shirt was actually kind of like this a little bit because they turned the mic on its side because it's like a square and it was like this thick and it's like sticking out and it was bothering him. He goes like this a couple times. And so I agree that I don't know if it was a misfire or it was a misalignment in how they put it on, because I think they wanted to get the trajectory and the line of sight just right. It was supposed to go here, in our opinion, that it was supposed to hit him on this side and be like a upper right chest wound. And it would have, if it would have gone off right, from people that know, it would have looked like a 30-06 through the right through the chest. We wouldn't have been the wiser. And but it didn't. Okay. I think even if it would have gone just right, they still probably would have had to do the paver thing. Maybe not as much. Maybe they could have just taken the top 10 inches of soil and grass and just resodded it. Who knows? But there still would have been some explosive residue nearby. Microscopic pieces of the mic, of the explosive residue. Charlie falls on the ground onto the grass. I know that PETN, if it gets on you, it could cause seizures. Okay. And it is chemically unique that they would be able to look at it under a microscope and be able to tell exactly if they could go to where it was made, right? If they were able to find out where it was made, every place that makes these things holds like a sample batch of it on file, especially people that do government contracts in case the government wants more. They have it and keep it. That's why it's pretty interesting that Accurate Energetic Systems plant exploded 30 days after September 10th. All gone. No trace. No way to point back to whatever explosive residue was inside the mic. Here's the caveat. Barron has done a lot more research on that explosion, and he said that it had C4 in it. So I'm not as I haven't done, because that's a rather new piece of information that he just released like last week, or it was Sunday. I forget which episode it was. I don't know if C4 would also cause seizures, and if it's also as easily traceable to its original source of where it was made. And if they would have had to get rid of everything, like they had to that day, or that maybe they just would have been like on the safe side, no matter what, whether it went perfect or whether it went wrong, they were probably going to do that anyways, to not even take a chance, not take a chance that even one piece of the road mic was found with a little piece of the residue of the explosive, whether it was PETN or C4. Okay. So that's my two parts of it. Okay. All right, let me go. Oh, thank you. Who do we got right here? NZ Nana D Crotchets. If anyone's new, ask everyone in the chat. I'm really bad at reading handles. Sorry, it's not my strength. Who do we got? Blacksmith GT. Dude, what up, man? I saw you. You were getting a lot of shout outs today on Zach's channel. Good to see you, man. I was like, Blacksmith. It's almost like Blackline. It's close, but Blacksmith. What up, dude? Calling Blake his brain for international politics when he's a documented racist is diabolical. Yeah, 100%, bro. Never, ever did. I don't see it on camera. Okay. They don't have it on record that Charlie ever said these things. I don't believe it. Anything that they have said about one another after the assassination and attribute it to Charlie, 100%, believe it. It's a lie. It's a lie. Blake is okay. He believes in the official narrative, the JFK assassination. He thinks Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman in the book depository building from the window, and that Lee Harvey got all the shots off. There's a video of him making fun of the alternative narratives. Okay. Maybe you should go talk to all the people that actually investigated it and like that. No, that's not what happened, man. I think from what I've researched into that, there was at least 3 shooters at the JFK assassination, one on the grassy knoll, one across the way, maybe one in like the building from an elevated position. Similar to like Charlie Kirk, I believe that it's possible that the road mic was just one thing that they were going to do that day, because it would muddy the water. It would muddy audio. It would muddy the autopsy. it would muddy the videos that we're looking at. Like we're looking at maybe 4 different things happen at the same time. Electrocution, maybe electrocution from the handheld mic, not enough to kill him, but enough to maybe knock him out and to make it look like that maybe that's how he died. Maybe that's, and then the exploding mic, and then maybe somebody shot something. There's other things people could shoot besides rounds that would make a weird wound. I don't necessarily think that is 100% what happened, but I think it's possible. But like JFK, they weren't going to let him leave alive that day. But as of right now, I'm really holding to the theory of the exploding mic being the cause of death. But like I said, a lot of what we know, it's a working theory, and I just think that's the strongest working theory today. All right, we got C4 is toxic too. There you go. I didn't know that. Thank you. Always coming through. always coming through. Thank you. Always. Yeah, they would have had to get rid of all the freaking soil and grass. You can't have. That's why they also had to rush it because, well, I mean, I also think they could have postponed classes, right? They could have gone online for a couple days. I don't think they wanted to, which is another weird thing, but they would have had to remove all traces of C4 and or the PETN because that was grass area where students sat and ate their lunches or hung out in between classes and like laid down and chilled. You can't have a student sitting down on there getting some of the C4 or the PETN on their skin and freaking having a seizure or whatever C4 would do to you. They had to get rid. And then obviously also to cover up the crime and to get rid of any evidence that could point back to them. What the heck? I don't know why I did that. All right, let's continue. Okay, CIK stands for Christ is King. Okay, all right. I'm not good with abbreviations. Makes sense. I thought it had to do with Charlie Kirk because we were talking about lots, we were talking about the lapel and stuff, but now I get it. The lapel laid just right. Christ is King. Yes, he is. Christ is King, 100%. And there's a reason why Ben Shapiro and all those people can't say it. They can't attribute Christ, which is a title, anointed one, right? Like messenger of God. They can't ever attribute that to Jesus. It's blasphemous to them. Why are people siding with them? I don't freaking know, dude. It's so ridiculous. All right, let's continue.
Humor, Christianity, sports, youth social, pop culture was Daisy. Like everyone has a piece of his brain that still lives on. Yeah. And so what I'm getting at here is the Charlie Kirk Show is not going anywhere. My husband's voice will live on.
Here comes.
The show will go on. We will have rotating hosts, rotating casts, rotating people coming
We've got
on.
Some great people next week.
Unbelievable. We will have consistency. The members only group will continue to go on. All of his socials that God has blessed us with, the people who follow those socials will go on. Nothing is changing. But I want to preface, we're not awkward. We're not like weird.
Cringy.
We're not cringe. We're not going to be tweeting as if it's him. That's tone deaf and really disturbing. And anyone who does that's like morbidly off.
Yeah. Anyone does that is morbidly off? Okay. If the shoe fits, Erica, put it on, Cinderella. That's what they've been doing. They have been tweeting from Charlie's socials. Okay. With his name and his photo as his profile picture still. They're saying it as him. There's no like disclaimer at the bottom sent from Andrew Kolvet on behalf of Charlie Kirk. Like, no. They're using Charlie Kirk's social to boost Andrew Kolvet. They're going to take Charlie Kirk's social that has way more, gets way more views, has way more subscribers and followers on X, and then they use that to boost Andrew Kolvet's tweets and posts and videos. Andrew Kolvet linked 2 of his personal social medias to the Charlie Kirk Show, Real America's Voice, and to Charlie Kirk's socials. Oh, but anyone does that is morbid. They also released an out of context clipped clip of Charlie, like way back when, saying something about Iran, and they made it out of context and made it to where it was taken out of context. And people were like, what the heck? It was on X. It got community noted because they're like, Charlie supports regime change. Charlie supports the war in Iran. Everyone was like, no, he doesn't. How do you not know that? They do know that. They don't care. What do we got? Robert, or wait, I think it's Rob Arthur. Okay. I prefer your show over Zach's. Oh, I appreciate it. I like Zach. Zach's awesome, but I appreciate it. I'll take any compliment. Thank you very much. All right. Ready?
That's not what's happening. What's happening is the team is keeping this alive because we have Charlie in each and every one of us. Yes. And it is going to be continually the North Star of the conservative movement, of the voice of the youth, of the voice of the base. And
is it the voice of the youth and the voice of the base right now? Oh, I love it when I get it on a good freeze frame of her. Let's see. Let me make it big. There we go. I'm not cruel, okay? When you are part of something and it looks like you either knew beforehand and took part in, or you knew on the day of and then you helped covering it up. Like, I don't know to what degree, but she's involved. She's involved, in my opinion. And this is all my opinion, not statement of fact. We know some things that are fact. Most of this is opinion, but it's an informed opinion based on a lot of circumstantial evidence. Enough circumstantial evidence could be pretty heavy. And I think we're at that point. But, oh my gosh, I hate it when I do that. What'd she say? I forgot what she said. Let me go.
Of the voice of the youth, of the voice of the base, and that will not end. And the members only will continue to grow.
Okay, now she's talking about members only. They've abandoned the base. They've abandoned the youth. They're actually they're at odds with the base of the MAGA movement because it was taken over by never Trumpers and neocons, okay, like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro and freaking Ted Cruz and all of these gross people. And they've completely abandoned Charlie and his legacy and what he was doing. So all of this.
And that will be the tight-knit network of family members that supported and loved Charlie and the team. And that's what it is. It's a family and a team.
So gross.
And this is not going anywhere. It's just not. We need to be able to have people have a show where they can ask questions. Hey, I'm up against this. What would Charlie say? And
no one's allowed to ask questions. Okay. They put people at their TPUSA events that are TPUSA staff that are like on their side, like brainwashed. They get put up there to ask softball, pro TPUSA, pro Philly questions. They screen their questions before they answer them. I watch their shows. They don't allow any dissenting questions to come through. No, never. Let me read this. Okay. If they are going to keep Charlie alive, put his videos back up, we want to remember him, not as what you make him to be. That's coming up. Just wait. We'll hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Okay.
We play a clip of what Charlie said a month ago, a year ago. We have decades worth of my husband's voice. We have unused material from speeches that he's had that.
Yes. Okay, right there. So this is in September. They know. I think this is also why they worked him like to the bone and had him do all these things so they could have a treasure trove of Charlie Kirk content that no one saw, that they could feed into an AI machine and create any statement they want from Charlie. Like Erica Kirk would do a great job. I point Erica Kirk as CEO at Turning Point. Erica Kirk would do a great job. That's a lie. She's front loading. She's soft landing that idea right now, telling everyone, which they haven't released. They still haven't released any of the content that she's telling us back in September. Back in September, she says they have all this content of Charlie that's never before seen that they're going to release. None of it. None of it. They released some things from the Asia trip, small, not in full. Everything that they release ends up being cut, trimmed, edited, AI manipulated. It's just all a lie. It's from the beginning, all been a lie. It's crazy.
No one has heard yet. We have Sunday specials lined up to the brim because my husband was so intentional about making sure that there was enough content. Always.
Yeah. He made sure we recorded everything.
Everything.
He would not do a speech unless we could get the video and the
100%. So we have speeches that no one's heard of. We have interviews that no one's heard of. We have stuff from Korea and Japan that no one's heard of.
Podcasts.
So
why is she smiling about this? Korea. Okay, so look at Blake, somber. Mikey, all smiles. Andrew, all smiles. Erica, all smiles. They're talking about the last trip Charlie went on with them. The last time they were like together on a trip like that, when they had no idea. Well, Charlie had no idea. They for sure already had an idea. I think that's why they planned the Asia trip, to get Charlie out of the country, to not be around people that were going to be doing things on this end, you know, preparing for his assassination. And we still don't have all the footage that they filmed over there. We don't have it. We don't have the Aspen video. We don't have anything. Okay, what was filmed at the Hamptons? Because they just said that Charlie said, I don't do any speaking engagement without it being filmed. That means the Hamptons was filmed. I want to see that. I want to see that. Where's that? We'll never see it. They'll never let it out. They'll release some sort of cut, edited 2-minute clip with like still photographs of Erica and him kissing in between, with like music and like fireworks in the background. So like, just to like muddy the water, just muddy the water. Oh, but they're doing this all for Charlie's legacy. This is what Charlie would want. Gosh, bro, how do people buy this? This is like freaking 5 days after. Look at how happy she is. I agree. Okay, so to add to what Candace Owens said, Erica Francois, was the happiest at the memorial, and until I think when did the real backlash start? Was that like the beginning of December? Was like, when was the real, like, we were all like, what the frick? Like, we all like had it in like bits as it went on, but when was it like really just everyone was like, no, something's wrong. She knows something. She's in on it. What? It must have been like October, November. That's when November is when Candace started at. I have to go back, but it's like October, November timeframe. She starts going in on TPUSA and the people in TPUSA, and then she meets with Erica in December. Erica was happiest ever from like day one to when she started getting hated from all of us. She's not loving it anymore. She's still loving it. She doesn't care. She could care less what we think. She cares what the demons think, you know? That's her audience, okay? They're smiling because as they're doing this exact sit down, they're getting billions of dollars donated to them. Yes. Yep. Because Charlie was the only one standing in the way of that. He was the one never willing to compromise his integrity. He said at the 10X thing with Grant Cardone, I don't worry about leftists. Bro, that's like a daily thing. That's like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're always making threats. They're just freaking noise, bro. And he's like, what really bothers me are people I know, people inside my inner circle, people that have betrayed me, deceived me, lied to me, or people that have compromised their integrity, like Andrew. People that also told me, you won't amount to anything. You can't do that. That's going to hurt your channel. That's going to hurt your brand. That's going to hurt your organization. You can't have Tucker on. You can't have Candace on. Someone actually said that in the text. Charlie was like, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to have Tucker and I'm going to have Candace on. He's like, whoever it was, we never saw the name. They were like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. That may seem like a good idea in the short term, but in the long term, I don't think that's a good idea. Same thing. That's compromising integrity. Candace has only spit facts, has only told the truth. Okay. She's playing the cards close to the chest. We don't know everything. We don't need to. As long as we arrive at justice for Charlie, that's all that matters. Okay. And we'll know when we get there. We'll know. I just hope I hope we don't make it to September with no real justice. Mikey's smiling like a hostage in a proof of life video. Oh my gosh, that's so good, dude. He is. He is. Brian Carter. Okay, for starters, I'd settle for his prior public videos. Put them back online. Release the Charlie Kirk files. I agree. I have one of him right at the Fordo bombing, in Iran, the limited strike. I've gone back. Like, if I showed you guys my history within my my channel, you would see they've made it to where like full videos are very hard to find of Charlie with Candace. It's like all gone. And then a lot of the other videos, they're all like shorter videos. They're not the full things. And then a lot of past 2 years, I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. They said it is, that it doesn't, because they're doing like, I don't know, 20 videos a day with all their stupid different shows they have. It, as far as it goes back on one of their playlists is like 2 years, and then one is like 5 years. What's really weird about that one, he has all this content from 5 years ago. He has nothing from 3 years ago, and then it jumps to 2 years ago, and he has like a couple videos, and then it's 1 year ago. There's a lot of weird stuff in there on their channel of just a lot of videos of Charlie missing. And then like some videos are on Rumble that aren't on their YouTube channel. And then some videos are on like their Apple, but there's no video. It's just the audio. Yeah, it's just so weird, the stuff that they've done. Vasi Leakey became a member. Thank you, Vasi. Welcome to the team. All right. Okay. You say all the thoughts I have with the same energy. Thank you, Deanne. Deanne Soland. Remember, I'm bad at this. Okay. I think it's Deanne though, right? Thank you, Deanne. Oh, what up, dude? Big time tip, Matt. You know how much I love a good boy Graham Allen debunk. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah, I don't know if you caught it in the beginning, but I was like, Zach had already done a video on Graham. Like everyone that's on the side of truth, like Candace, Baron, Zach, and there's some others too. And if I didn't name you, I apologize, but those are the ones I'm naming right now. We all are contributing different parts based on our own skills and like experience and giftings. And I knew Zach was going to be able to do so much more with that than me. Plus, he has such a bigger audience and reach on his YouTube and on X. And what I cared more about anything was the most amount of people seeing that as possible. That's what I want. That's how we combat the BS and the lies. Okay. I don't care if I found it. It doesn't matter. I wanted Zach to be able to do what he was going to do best with it. And he freaking did. He destroyed him. It was hilarious and it was informative, just like he said. It did not disappoint. All right. Always be true. Erica dropped the mask in December. Thank you. Time frame. Thank you. In December, when Candace posted on Twitter donating to this organization, then Blakey got sent out to debate Candace. Yeah, I remember all of that happening. I didn't remember exactly when, because they finally started addressing the lies, whatever, Candace. And then they issued a challenge or like an offer to debate with Candace. That happened first. And they were like, but you have to do it on our show and you have to do it live. You have to come here in person. And we're like, that's weird. You guys are always doing it from like satellite locations. Like sometimes Blake is there, sometimes he's not. Sometimes Andrew's there, sometimes he's in his grandma's basement. We know you have the capability of like being live. Like it's after COVID. Like we know we can all do that. They insisted and we were like, Candace, don't do that. That's stupid. Andrew told you and Tucker are on the list. How stupid did they think she was? She's like, yeah, I'll be right there. No. And then they took back the offer. They're like, oh, you won't come in person? Fine. That means you can't really defend your position. And we're gonna put out propaganda debunking you, but not debunking anything at all. And that's what they did. And then she started releasing more stuff. And then they freaked out. And then they called Justin Strife, and Erica called Candace and were like, let's sit down and have a meeting. So much. And that's how it happened because, well, Candace said so. And number two, they flew out to Candace in Tennessee. They had the urgency to sit down with her. It wasn't the other way around. Candace wanted to sit down. They're the ones that made it happen like that. So yeah, that was like the first week of December, because I know the sit down was in December. It was right before AmFest, which was December 19th, 20th, and 21st of December. So yeah, that sounds about right. It all happened like end of November, beginning of December. Yes. All right, let's get, I need to not pull that off. Let's do it.
I mean, in the words of my husband, buckle up, because there is a lot of content to be had. And we have so many amazing things down the pipeline that we are working on currently that will
unveil in due time.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
And so,
and by the way, those are things Charlie himself
that he wanted.
We were working on some big things, right up until the end. And, we've talked about that a lot, like a lot of the guiding vision that we're using right now to kind of steady the ship and figure out where we're going is the things Charlie himself.
Why does she do that with her eyes? Why does she look at Andrew like that? That's weird. They might be doing something on the side. I don't know. She looked at him really like, you know what I mean? Like intimately, like the way she's looking at him, and then her eyes open really big. And she's just like honing in on him. But what's really, really a lie, 100% is, I believe that Charlie did write a lot of things down. I bet he did tell his team a lot of things about what his projection and his vision was for the future. I also believe 2025 changed everything. It changed a little in 23 after October 7th. It changed a little in 24, but 2025 changed everything. Everything changed. He wrote that BB, the letter to BB saying, your Hasbara's not working, bro. You need to change your tactics. You've lost the information war here. No one's liking you. If you want us to like fully hate you, keep it up. If you don't, here's a letter. Do this. And then BB's like, can I do it with you? And he's like, no, you can't do it with me. Do it yourself. Here's the name. Charlie gave him a name. Israeli Truth Network. There you go. Hand out. BB doesn't do it. Charlie has Dave Smith destroy Josh Hammer all on Philly. Everything. It showed in the marketplace of ideas whose ideas were best. Charlie's. Charlie felt the same way Dave Smith felt, and Tucker. There's a reason why he had Dave Smith on. He didn't have to have Dave Smith on. Then he had Tucker on and said, go Max on Philly. Okay. They're going Max on Philly and on the Jeffy Epi files. He has Megan on, going Max on Philly and Jeffy Epi being Mossad. Okay. Then he does the sit down. So then there's also the Young Women's Leadership Summit in June. In July is the Student Action Summit. That's where that all happened with Tucker and Josh Hammer and Dave Smith. And then he does the sit down focus group with the TPUSA chapter leads where the whole topic is Philly. And then he goes to Tucker, films that episode. He goes to Hamptons. Then he goes to Tucker's. Then he does the Aspen. All of that is like this cascade event where like it increasingly became very clear, I think, to him that he was, with every day, he couldn't trust the people around him. And yeah, they probably had old visions, old ideas before January 25, and then his complete transformation from January 25 all the way to September. And none of the ideas that they're doing right now that they're saying Charlie wanted, none of it. You know for a fact it's not. Just go back and watch and listen to Charlie in 25. What was he saying? What was his focus? What did he care about? We were the barometer to him, and he was saying what was important to him was important to us. And none of them are doing that anymore. And that's how you know this is all a grift. This is all a lie. They took him out because he became a stumbling block, a thorn in their side, an obstacle. Now he's out of the way. Now they can have all those donors come back in. That's why they have all this all this stuff to do. They have more work than they know what to do with. They have more money than they know what to do with. I can't wait till next year's tax forms come out. If we can find out donors through some of these tax forms, or if other people do research to find out who came back. Did Bill Ackman come back after Charlie was assassinated? Because they're pro Philly now more than ever, dude. So like his whole reason for leaving was Charlie being like gung-ho on the Jeffy Epi thing and being against Philly. Now they're not. Guaranteed all those people came back. With a quickness, they came back. Look at how she looks at him, by the way.
100%.
Told us where we were going.
100%. And similar with Turning Point USA, Charlie had a plan moving past 2030 that he's shared with the team and has implemented. So
I also think he might have been writing things down and sharing ideas with the team to throw them off. If he began to doubt, question, and not trust those around him, he would have started to release information that wouldn't give them as much of an insight as to where he really was wanting to go and what he was wanting to do.
we're not going anywhere.
We have the blueprints.
We have the blueprints. We have our marching orders, and
Marching orders
we are just remaining humble and
from Philly. Marching orders from Philly.
grateful to God, and we're remaining just stewards to what God has blessed us with. And I know Charlie is going to continue to guide us, and the Lord will continue to guide us. And I just wanted to let everyone know that this is far beyond any of us sitting in these chairs. This has nothing to do with us. It never will. The glory all to God on that front. And I just am excited. It's weird to say excited, but it's also very surreal to say it, because I know that God will use all of this in a way that will glorify him.
No, it's just wrong. Okay, Erica, you guys, the people around her, like James, Kaddis, and the other Calvary Chapel pastors, and all these people are telling her, you're doing great. You're coming across strong, proud, virtuous. You're coming across like your faith is so much better than everyone else's. They lied to her. She came out too strong. She didn't grieve at all. They'll say she grieved a little. We say, no, that was all fake. Okay, she came out way too intense with how easy this is for her to talk about all this stuff, as if there's all of her feelings of the loss and grief of her husband and the father of her children that was just robbed from her at 31 aren't there. They're not there. And I think that she definitely gets told that you're doing great. And it's insane. It's nuts. Let's see. Not a common thing for Mormons to work on Sundays. No, it's not. They're strict adherers to the Sabbath. I grew up kind of LDS. Like my best friend, who was like 2 doors down, was LDS, and I just hung out with them all the time. And I would go to church with them too. They always wanted to convert me. And they were great. But like, no, I wasn't allowed to hang out with them and stuff on Sundays. It's family day, and they weren't allowed to like play video games and to do things that they would do Monday through Friday and on Saturdays. So yeah, it's very, very weird that, and the governor and Kash Patel are the ones that called for the immediate cover-up of the crime scene. And then they enlisted Mormons. I think the guys were Mormon. At least some of them were. I mean, he didn't talk like he was Mormon. He was dropping the F-bomb every other word. But I mean, I don't know. Modern day, he could have been Mormon. I don't know. But yeah, they don't work on Sundays. That's like hands down. They don't work on Sundays. And the governor was one of them to be sure that the dirt was taken out. Yep, 10 inches. And they beautified that place Charlie sat. Yeah, they think they beautified it. I think it's gross because it's all, to me, it symbolizes the cover up, right? Like it's like a literal cover up, right? They literally covered up evidence and the crime scene and destroyed it. So when I look at that with the pavers and the flower pots and everything, what I see is corruption. I see perversion. I see lies. I see wrongful death. I see an assassination covered up by the highest parts of this government. It didn't get beautified to me. And then we got, did you mean to send it twice? Oh, wait, this one's different. Okay, not a common thing for Mormons to work on Sundays. And, it is the same. But at the end you said, thanks, Matt. Okay, thank you, Cynthia. I don't know, did that happen on accident? Did it make you send it twice? I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. And we got another one. Hold on. Jane Seth, Rupert, I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. I've been watching videos on cults lately, and really, Erica is a cult leader. It's a slightly different way of looking at it, illuminating, in my opinion. So, okay, actually, so my first degree is in biblical studies. It was like two classes short of it because the VA was like, you aren't employable with this degree after you graduate, and I had to get my psych degree. But that was my initial degree process. So I have friends that are Jehovah's Witnesses. I have friends that are LDS, and I always wanted to be able to minister to them and preach to them. And I've always had a fascination with cults. And 100% you're right. 100% you're right. She is a charismatic cult leader. They even have language that's unique to the people in there. And that's another thing. It's a subculture of people within the group that say and do things the same themselves, but to us on the outside looking in, we look at them and go like, that's weird. What the heck is that? And I agree 100%. I've like literally researched like every cult, like Children of God, Jonestown, Manson's. There's another one. This guy's he said he was God, Jesus Christ reincarnated. He used to be a Navy SEAL, and it was in Hollywood. I forget the name. It was on a documentary that I watched. But yeah, she is. And yes, it is. I agree.
Further Charlie's legacy, and Charlie's up in heaven just having...
He's rooting us on. I know that.
He's so rooting us on.
Yeah.
And I know.
I want to...
So that is gross because she was with James Kaddis, and a person phoned in a question of whether or not people in heaven can actually like see us down here and like, communicate on our behalf or do anything like that. And James at least was honest and was like, there's no biblical foundation for that. We don't really know. And so like, as someone that presents herself as some sort of biblical scholar, right? She's getting her doctorate, right? And that she like runs this Bible in 365 app, which she doesn't share anything ever herself. She has nothing to add. James talks the whole time. She says, okay, totally. Awesome. Amen. Yes. Great. That's it. She has no original ideas or thoughts of her own. She can't expound on scripture at all. Okay. At all. So in fact, let's go straight. Wait, I think I asked my wife which one she wanted me to start with. Okay. The October video. All right, let's go there and we can come back here. All right. And it starts at 45:57. All right. We're right there. All right, cool. Let's start here.
Person when it comes to representing the facts and teaching and so on and so forth. I'm the guy that every single person in the mainstream will call privately and ask to bring up something that they would never bring up because it's a third rail. They don't want to touch it, right? But they'll do that. And I'm also the guy that no one ever invites to anything. Like I don't if it involves something that looks pretty. They don't want a big old fat guy wobbling up on stage who's loud and boisterous and aggressive and very sure of himself. They don't want that. And a matter of fact, I even know lots of pastors who are in this space who don't even want me near them because if I'm near them, they don't want to be outshined. I see this kind of stuff.
He has such an inflated opinion and perspective of himself. It is literally insane. Insane. Other pastors don't want to be near him because he outshines them. But he's humble. He's so humble. He's so humble he could say that humbly. Yeah, okay.
All the time. That's just what goes with the ground when you choose to represent God. When you choose to be a modern day prophet, there's
you don't get to choose to be a modern day prophet, homeboy. God chooses you. You are a disinformation prophet. That's not a prophet. That's a false prophet. We'll know as time goes on. We already know enough. You're a liar. Everything you've said, it's all about supporting Philly. You're not a prophet. You can't anoint yourself a prophet, home dude. Okay? That's a God thing.
There's a lot of things about you that are not really all that likable. There's just a lot of That's why me and Charlie always get along so well, because Charlie is the epitome of what a nerd looks like. But, nerds rule the world. You know what I mean? Like Charlie is not like one of these like high fashion, not any that's why Charlie and I are so comfortable together. Like we're in our, we are so comfortable.
He
in our
doesn't
skin,
care.
but it's
He'll
awkward
wear
to everybody.
compression socks.
Oh yeah.
And like gym shorts and dress shoes. And people are so confused, but he owns it because he doesn't care. Like
That's
he
my
just
boy.
doesn't care what you
That's
think.
how it goes.
I know.
He
That's not the same thing as being a geek and a dork, morons. And she has no problem laughing about Charlie and adding in making fun of Charlie with James. James, newsflash, you are nothing like Charlie. I don't have the clip pulled up, bro, but guess what Charlie said was the measure of a man? Self-control. A mature man has self-control. James was 1,000 pounds at his heaviest. His belt was 8 feet long. He hangs it up next to the door as a trophy. He's still 400 pounds, not because he has some sort of disorder. He has a nerve issue because he was 1,000 pounds. I have the video. He said he was a destructive eater. He said he never lusted over his fiance once. He would much rather lust over a juicy steak. You're nothing like Charlie. Charlie had self-control. You want to know what group of people don't have? Okay, self-control. I was talking about this with my wife. That's the difference of the flesh and the spirit. When you don't have self-control, you're ruled by your flesh. Your flesh. Your flesh rules you. It tells you to eat something and you do it. You let your emotions and your feelings dictate your actions. That's what babies do. That's what my children do. A grown, mature, Christian, human, man and woman, but in this context, we're talking about men. Charlie had that. It takes hard work to die to yourself and to get your flesh under control. John doesn't do that. James doesn't do that. And he's a freaking pastor. And he has the audacity to say that he's just like Charlie. No, you're not. You're nothing like Charlie. He did it yesterday. He literally, every chance he gets, every time Erica's on the show, he tells Erica how gorgeous she is, how amazing she is, how beautiful she is, how much better than Charlie she is, how much she's like his wife, how much he's like Charlie. Every single time. Every single time. It's unreal. It's unreal. Hello, second time here. Great show. Hard to find the real ones, you know? Thank you. I'm driving faster. I do. I'm glad you found us. Welcome to the team. Let's continue with this atrocity. Look at how happy she is. Gross.
He reminds me of a skinny version of me. I'm telling you, like it.
Yeah.
He thinks the same way. But the thing is like, I've accepted that. I don't get invited to a lot of stuff. I'm not the polished guy that shows up. Now, don't get me wrong. A clock is always right, one time a day. And so there's an ebb and flow. And sometimes there's a real popularity with big loudmouths. And so I get that.
It's not true. Charlie got invited to everything, you idiot. Even people that disagreed with him, like Bill Maher, everybody wanted Charlie around because they knew he was genuine, he was authentic, he was honest. Even if he had a different opinion, he actually believed it. Okay? I know he was right, but the people on the left that had differing opinions didn't think he was right, but they at least respected him because he was genuine and honest, and he's articulate, and he's smart. And he was good looking. Everyone out there ever putting out that Charlie wasn't a good looking guy, you're an idiot. You're just stupid. And his wife is allowing him to say that. And she agreed. You're right. I know. Yes.
That little boost every now and again. But the reality of it is, if you're really representing God, if you're really a prophet of God, you're not going to be the most popular guy. And if you are, you're going to be kind of infamous.
Okay, 46, and then I'm going to drop to 52, 46.
The lies of people like Candace Owens,
Let me back
who continue to communicate in Jerusalem, Mount Zion.
Funny. So they're talking about Philly. They're talking about Philly and that he's got to attack Kaddis. And this is when Charlie's still alive. I've showed this before while Charlie is still alive, his wife on her show has James Kaddis attacking Candace Owens. I don't know if Candace knew this. Maybe if she would have known this, I don't think Candace ever watched Erica. I don't know that she's even watched any of these. She should. Somebody should send some of these to her. Okay. Somebody clip some of the things of James talking smack about Candace. He's done full on episodes alone attacking Candace. He did one on the Dennis Prager letter. Okay. Did an hour and a half long attacking Candace. He also did hour and a half long shows attacking Tucker, while Charlie is still closer with them than he ever was with James, and Charlie was still alive, and Erica knows it, and Erica's faking like she's anti-Philly in front of Charlie and Tucker, and then goes on the show with James and allows James to trash the people that Charlie felt were his closest friends. What kind of wife does that? How did she not, when the first time this happened, the first time James ever said anything on her show with her face on it and the name of her company on it, did she not take him off set afterwards and go, don't ever do that again? You can do that on your own show. You're allowed to have your own opinions. Yep, freedom of speech. Charlie's all for it. Never on my show will you talk bad about my husband's friends with me on the show. Why didn't that ever happen? We know it didn't because he does it time. What did she say? Over and over and over again.
Talking about when you say Zion, it's in essence the heart of God with respect to his people. When you call yourself a Zionist, I am a Zionist, okay? A Zionist believes in the Jewish right to self-determination, that the land of Israel belongs to the Jews. You believe that they should be a nation, should be established as one. I want to very strongly caution you to not listen to the lies of people like Candace Owens, who continue to communicate the fact that being a Zionist isn't.
Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? Erica just said, Erica just agreed with him. Did you guys hear that? Give me thumbs up if you heard that. Erica just said, She did. Let me read that chat real quick that just came in. Okay, James 4:6. Thank you, Vasi _Licky or Leaky. I'm so bad at this, at the handle names. James 4:6. God opposed the proud, but shows favor to the humble. Galatians 6:3. If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Both of those are James and Erica. Actually, it's Mikey and Blake and Andrew. It's all of them. Yeah, but the thing is, they don't like the New Testament, guys. Okay, they're probably adhering to the Noahide laws. They probably think they're going to be good servants for, Jews when, their Messiah comes, right? And they're adhering to the Noahide laws. That's why they quote the Old Testament all the time. They forsake the New Testament. It's gross.
Evil thing. She is heavily influenced by Andrew Tate and lots of other people that have they would not know Jewish history if it walked up to them, slapped them in the face, and bit them like a snake.
So this isn't the exact same clip I showed the other day, you guys. This is a different episode, a different clip where he says similar things, but a little different. But this is how often he attacks Candace with Erica there while Charlie's alive.
And it's amazing to see the level of ignorance that they carry when they make these representations. As a matter of fact, I would highly represent you go over a video that I just did a few days ago where I read Dennis Prager's letter to Candace and spoke a bit about what Dennis said. Really remarkable job. Dennis did a great job in responding. Even though Dennis Prager is not a Christian, he definitely has some remarkable insight that he provides in setting the record straight. But yeah, I am a Zionist. Definitely the people in my church are considered Zionists. I would definitely call Charlie a Zionist, Erica a Zionist. It's not a bad word. Okay. It basically means that you believe the Jews have the right to self-determination.
No, that's not what it means anymore. It's changed. We have to, were you not watching the Religious Liberty Commission when Carrie Brigitte Bowler said that, she doesn't agree with what's happening in Gaza and Palestine? And It doesn't agree with the actual government of Philly. Does that mean if I don't support the government of Philly, does that mean I'm an anti-Semite? Or if I'm not a Zionist as you define it, does that mean I'm an anti-Semite? And Seth Dillon goes, yes. Yes, it does. Charlie was for sure not a Zionist in the end. I have no choice. You all leave me no choice but to leave, to abandon the pro-Israel cause. And because it's a quote, I'm saying the real country's name. That's what he said. And Erica saying, And you want to know why Charlie was converting to Catholicism? This is why. It's why I am too. It's why I am too. None of these people you can trust. None of them. They all are masquerading as men of God, as pastors that are trying to tell you what God feels about this issue. And that if you're not on their side with this issue, you're not on God's side. And in fact, he goes as far to say you're demonic and your father is Satan, just like Candace Owens. Charlie wanted nothing to do with these people in the end. He knew that these people were just as bad as the donors. He knew it. And he found out at the end that Erica was too. It's nuts, dude. Yes, please, someone compile clips for Candace. Yeah, she needs to know. She needs to know. This is the guy that did their premarital counseling. This is the guy that pressured Charlie, told him he had to marry Erica, said that Erica is the thing that's God is going to bless you through. And if you don't marry her, he's not going to bless you. In fact, he said that you need to marry her now, hurry now, before someone else takes her from you, before God takes the blinders off her eyes and she sees you for what a dork and a geek and a loser you are. He said that Charlie married out of his league. Erica's not out of his league. 30-something single woman, not married, had premarital relations with multiple men, woman of the night, Jezebel, harlot. What? Gosh, what could we have done? That's why they isolated Charlie. That whole manufactured issue where they got Charlie to accept a donor and then lied to Candace, that was made to happen. Okay, when you abuse someone, when you want to manipulate someone and control that person, you have to isolate them. You have to get anyone out of their, vicinity that could give them any kind of way out, any kind of alternative ideas, anyone that could be a stumbling block. Candace would have been that. She would have been the biggest one. They knew they had to get her out of the way to continue to ramp up the control and manipulation of Charlie. I really do believe Charlie he would have had a better chance at still being alive if he never would have married Erica. Erica is who brought all these Calvary Chapel pastors in. It's nuts. Nuts. All right. I think that was it on that one, right? Let's see. 46. It says it goes till 50. Let's see what he says in 4 seconds.
Her own land. It's not a difficult thing.
Right.
Okay. Right. She's just in agreement. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Let's go here. April 1/11/53.
Can we just take a break to just talk about something hilarious for just a second? I feel very nostalgic. So I really want to say this.
I feel that way every day.
This is actually how I met Charlie. I heard him somewhere and I thought, who is this kid? He's not a pastor and he's saying all the things that the pastors are supposed to say. And this was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So I send an email.
COVID time frame, probably.
CharlieKirk.com. What is, I don't forget what the email was.
Right.
Freedom. CharlieKirk.com.
CharlieKirk.com. I read all of my emails, which he does.
Yeah, he does. So I sent him the email and I said, hey, bro, don't have any real money in our budget, nothing like that. But man, love you to come to our church. Charlie says, sure. He sends me the next maybe 30 minutes. He said, sure. And then connects me with somebody. And he's at our church within I don't know. It was like 5 or 6 weeks
Right.
after he made the commitment. Well, you might remember this, Erica, but you were there with him that very
Yes.
first time. You guys weren't married. You were probably like, you, as a matter of fact, you were in the,
We were dating.
dating. You were in the dating stage.
We were in the dating. We were in the courtship phase.
Yeah.
And I
So-
was obsessed with your office with the books and the library. And like, I just sat there like this, like, tell me all that you know because you teach the Bible so much. Like, just
Yeah. So I told Charlie, I said, because I was talking to you and I only talked to you for like 5 minutes. That's all I
Right.
needed. Matter of fact, I talked to you more than I talked to Charlie initially because Charlie was doing some team things or whatever.
right.
No, Charlie, from Adam, I didn't
Right.
anything. I just said, hey, Charlie, you see that amazing woman that you have right there? You're an idiot if you don't marry her. I didn't know him. I'm telling you. I don't know if you remember this, Erica.
I remember that. I remember that.
And me and my sister are because you can look at somebody the first time and you can judge the wrong way based on appearance. We're like, we got a supermodel sitting in our office. She's probably going to be shallow. She's very likely going to be stupid.
I've heard it all. I've
Again,
heard it all.
everything. And I talked to you for 5 minutes and I'm like, you're freaking gold.
Because that's how it works, guys. Because you can talk to someone for 5 minutes and know everything about them. Yeah. Because that's how it works. Yeah. And it looks like all the things that he was like worried she was, and then was like, oh, she's none of those things. She's gold. No, nope. Your concerns, your fake concerns were right. She is shallow. She is not smart. I don't like Allie Beth Stuckey at all, but at least she can form her own opinions, or at least make them seem like they're her own opinions. I dislike her a lot, by the way. Blech. She was just on a show with Jeremy Boring and Frank Turek, which we're going to look at in a little bit. What do you know? They're attacking Candace and they're attacking Catholics. What do you know? The whole show. It's nuts. Yeah, he can't. So James can't pass up an opportunity to just fluff her ego and suck up to her and just tell her all these crazy things.
Like, and I told that to Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, you better marry her. And then
I remember that so well.
I don't know who it was that was doing security, but the guy that was doing security for Charlie looked at me and he pulled me aside. He goes, I've never seen anybody get that crazy with Charlie without Charlie just shutting down on them. Like he just shuts down. And I'm telling you right now, bro, you don't know him, but I think he likes you. He down. He didn't shut down. And it was very intrusive. It was like a very intrusive statement.
It was
I'm like,
amazing.
like that.
And then
Why was it amazing, Erica? Because you guys were all running an op on him. Okay, a man of God that doesn't know Erica from Steve, which I think is a lie. I think they all knew each other. I can't prove it yet, but I just have this feeling. He's like the head of her Proclaim and her Bible in 365. He like is in love with her. It's super weird. Is literally a man of God. And you're going to hear it in the next video that I have where he says, and he used the same line on his wife, God told me before I even knew your last name, the moment I saw you, I'm going to marry you. And then he went about like manufacturing it, like making it happen. And I'll show you in the next one how he did it with his wife. And it's super weird. It's like nothing a pastor should do, nothing any man should do. But he did it immediately. He had an ulterior motive immediately with Charlie to get him to marry Erica Kirk quickly, put pressure. And I guarantee you, now he's saying the security guard came up and was like, blah, 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 whatever. They all were putting pressure on Charlie. Frank was, Rob was, Jack Hibbs was, Greg Laurie was.
and we became best friends.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like it's just the most hilarious thing. But this is really funny because I just had this little moment because you bringing up the little iPod thing is what caused me to remember this. I said this to you and I just remembered it right now. I said that if Charlie does the right thing by you, I said it that aggressively. I said, if Charlie does the right thing by you and ends up marrying you, then I'm telling you, one of these days, God is going to do something great.
That is called spiritual manipulation, spiritual blackmail. That is called weaponizing someone's faith in God against them to manipulate their emotions, their feelings, and then eventually their actions to do a certain thing that you want them to do. And I've already laid it out. This is not the first and it's not the last time he has said all of this. It's crazy.
And I hope that I'm there to watch it. And here I am, sitting here with you doing this. God, it's hilarious. I remembered
love that.
She loves it, guys. She loves it.
More to come.
Oh,
Best is yet to come.
It's just hilarious. It's just hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It was because you're a rare, like, honestly, I'll tell you one of the very first, I'll tell you right now what I told, the very first words that came out of my wife's mouth, or came out of my mouth when I saw my wife.
Oh, nuts. He tells the same story. I have it in my clip. My wife didn't tell me that. Okay, I will play it in a second. Let me get the super chat that just popped up. Okay. Can you guys maybe if I get a handle wrong, maybe in your chat, in the live chat, text it to like Mystic or Jim Bear or someone, or Jim Carrey, one of the other mods, where you spell it out phonetically so that I don't continue to butcher your guys' handles. Vasi_Leaky, I think. If you ever get the chance, visit the parish of St. John's, 718 East Horse Haven Avenue, Post Falls. Whoa, you live up here? They were so nice and loved the community. Okay, thank you for that. I will. Thank you. Well, that's cool. I don't know if you live up here, but that's cool. Thank you for that. I was talking with Zach about this today, and also a coworker of mine too that are Catholic, that that's where we're going to be going first, but we're definitely going to be going. I'm going to check that out. That's a good shout out. Thank you. Recommendation. All right. Let's get back to April. Yeah. So this is in April, by the way. Always be true. This is a year ago in April. So April 25th, 2025. Okay. To say, I have something else that he's going to say in a minute and another one.
You, Erica, are a very rare breed. You are. Like, you're very, like, I saw you and I said, oh yeah, she's different. She's more beautiful on the inside than she is the outside. And that's crazy. Like, you don't see that a lot.
I love it.
So look at what God's done. How crazy.
Look at her reaction. So weird. So weird. This old, overweight, weird, out of touch pastor is fawning over her like a schoolboy. He's married with children, and he does it every single show, every single time. And she loves it every single time.
Easy as that.
I love it. It's cool.
Yeah, and you're one of the grounding forces in Charlie's life.
No, she's
not the trophy, even though you are a trophy.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And I take that so seriously.
I just had that moment.
I love it. I love it.
He knew it. That was bad. He knew that was bad. Look at him. Holy smokes. Look at his face. He knew the moment that left his lips, that was bad. Sorry, just had to say it. Oh, sorry. I mean, hypothetically. I mean, yeah. Sorry. Having an out-of-body experience, like, hopefully my wife and Charlie aren't watching that. That's weird. She said, I love it. Yep. Just like in the other one. I don't know if you guys heard it. Sorry, my wife texted me that you guys probably wanted me to replay when she said, when he was talking smack about Candace, and she goes, Hopefully you guys heard it. If not, you can catch it on the replay and re-listen to it, and you should post it. It's freaking Erica, When Charlie's Alive, in April 2025. Yeah. Candace is bad. That's Erica. Oh, but she loved Charlie. She knows everything, guys.
Because every time I
I cherish the iPod. So I'm glad we're on the same wavelength of nostalgia.
That's funny. I'm just
I
thinking
love
about
it.
that. That's
I
really
remember
funny.
there's a photo of you and him sitting backstage.
What's weird is she said her kids, her and Charlie's kids, well, she says my kids, our kids, my kids, our kids. Okay. She's always Freudian slipping. That's what happens when you've been MK Ultra'd. It all comes out. But anyway, she said that her kids don't do tablets, screen time, electronics. She said that. Here she is. Her kids had an iPad. Well, Gigi has.
I don't
One
remember
of
what
my
church.
it's one of my favorite photos. We were
The
at Joe
way that
Pettick,
he's sitting. Yes.
Joe Pettick's church. It's one of
amazing.
my
It's my favorite.
all-time favorite photos. Matter of fact, I'll find it here and show it to you guys.
I
before
think
we
it's
end.
the photo that I have as your contact photo.
Yeah, I'm gonna because I can
It's
I
a
can put it up.
great photo.
I'm gonna find it because I know it's in my favorites, and I'm gonna find it and
Such
I'm
a
gonna
good
show it to
photo.
everybody. Because it is by far one of my favorite photos with Charlie, and Erica took it very discreetly.
Why?
It was a very quiet photo that was
Because you were
taken.
pouring into him and he was just being blanketed by like your wisdom and your love.
That's Erica. Never miss a good opportunity to capture a private, intimate moment that is meant to be private and intimate with the people that are there in person, and then make it viral. That's Erica. Emotional asset to the Department of War. She's the perfect one because she never misses an opportunity for a photo op.
Moment that like no one else was paying attention to because there was other people in the room. Everyone was talking to other people, but you guys were like off in the corner.
What does that say, Erica? No one else thought to take a picture of a private, intimate, spiritual moment but you.
From what I remember. Yes.
There it is.
That.
One of my
Great
all-time
photo.
favorites.
And this guy has the audacity. Look at this. And he's supposedly just like Charlie. Charlie's not good looking. You're an idiot. You're all idiots. You're disgusting. You're liars, deceivers, manipulators.
Photos ever taken of me and Charlie. And there's a lot of photos
Such
of me
a
and
good
Charlie.
photo.
It is a good
Oh,
But it's
I love
absolutely
it.
my favorite, like absolute one of my favorite.
Oh.
Oh, okay. The only part of this photo that's good is right here. Just that. Everything else I could do without.
Photos ever taken.
Okay, that's the end of that. Let's go here. Also, that photo makes me sad because Charlie's surrounded. I don't know who those other two guys are, but Charlie doesn't realize the guy sitting across from him, i.e., James Kaddis, is a wolf, a ravenous wolf in sheep's clothing. Charlie was young in that photo. He had no idea how many, at least the 5 that surrounded him in the end, right? So you have James Kaddis, Frank Turek, Rob McCoy, Jack Hibbs, Greg Laurie, and then Erica. So the 6 of them that surrounded him and pretended to be good Christian people, the 5 being pastors, the 6th being his wife, that he should have never, ever trusted them. Yeah. It's, to me, that's a sad photo. But Charlie did look good. I mean, it's just proof he was a very good looking dude. He wasn't freaking ugly and a geek like all they keep saying. All right, let me go to my first timestamp. This is January 24, 2025. First one's at 3. All right, let's go here. I love it when I do that.
Without further ado, I want to pass the mic over to our amazing pastoral advisor, Pastor James Kaddis. He's a dear friend of mine. He's been our pastoral advisor for Bible in 365, I think, for 3 or 4 years now. He's tremendous. You guys, he's an unbelievable resource from...
There we go. So it's Vasiliki, one word. Did I do okay? Vasiliki? Hopefully I did okay.
Anything, biblical knowledge, wisdom, you name it, he's got it. So Pastor Kaddis, please feel free to introduce yourself and lead us into prayer. And I just want to give you a big hug, even though I can't, but you're feeling the love.
Yes. Matter of fact, just a few seconds before we went on, I started whispering it, but I'm just going to say it out loud. A couple of things right off the bat. First of all, I miss you. It's only been a few months, but man, you were strikingly beautiful during the inauguration. You're always beautiful, but it was awesome to see you and Charlie sitting there and just enjoying it. And it's interesting.
What's interesting is, as a grown, middle-aged, older man, the first thing that comes out of your mouth and then continually comes out of your mouth is how attractive you think one of your mentees' wife is. Like, every time, you're so attractive, you're so gorgeous, you're so beautiful. Why do you need to keep saying that? Why do you say it like that? For someone that says beauty's on the inside and it's about God inside that radiates outwardly through, their spirit, he puts a lot of emphasis on her exterior looks every single time. It's gross. Let me get to this next one we got. Kodiak bear, not wolf. Yeah, way worse. Kodiak bears are freaking gnarly. Yeah. Like The Revenant, right? That one movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. That was brutal. I couldn't watch that whole thing. It was like so real. I was like, whoa, that's nuts. Yeah, that's what he is. Agreed. Okay, next one. That's all he says there. Let's go to the next timestamp. 11:38.
Favorite conversation about Romans 12 took place with Erica's husband. And it was interesting because as we began to...
That's what was weird. He just says it there. I don't know why he does that. Sometimes he doesn't call Charlie by name. He says Erica's husband. It's just a weird thing to like disassociate from Charlie personally by saying Erica's husband. I found that to be odd. You know what I mean? All right, that was all that one was. 12:50.
Changing people's lives, you're ministering to them, you're walking them through things. You have to be careful the things that you say, because they will get so attached to you because of their gratefulness to all that you've done for them that they'll do anything for you. So sometimes you just have to be careful about the things that you say, because I don't want people wanting to do things for me.
So he's saying this in the context of him and Erica. And it's so insane. It's so insane. He's going to then go on to say, like, I don't want people to do things for me. I want them to do it for Christ. But I just can't unhear everything you said right before that. So I don't know what to do with that besides go, you are horrible. Wait, 12. My thing is so big, my little purple finger, that it's hard to get it just where I need it.
And I can promise you, you will have an astounding effect on people without even realizing you have an astounding effect on people. I oftentimes think this way about people like my wife and Erica. They're both great examples of this. They're both strikingly beautiful women. When people look at our wives near us, they go, man, what did you do? Are you rich? You know? But the funny thing about it is what makes them both so remarkably beautiful is the love that they have for the Lord and the kindness.
So that's what's weird, okay? He's like engaging in doublespeak, okay? Where words don't have meaning. Because he just said they're strikingly beautiful. That's an exterior observation and statement that he's saying is factual. They are beautiful and gorgeous on the outside. But then he goes on to say, but it's not that they're beautiful on the outside, it's that they're beautiful on the inside because they have Christ in them. Which one is it, bro? I mean, that's what's crazy about this dude is like, it's like he'll say things and then he kind of like, oh shoot, like that doesn't come out right. I'm a pastor. I'm an old dude. He's married. That's Charlie's wife. Like maybe I should, okay, let's get it back on Christ. Christ is the afterthought. It's the second thing he says. It's not what he leads with. He leads with the thing that's on the forefront of his mind. And then as he's saying things out loud, he then steers it back to Christ afterwards, which at that point to me, it's diluted and it's all BS. Oh, dude. Wait till I show you what I have later. All right, let's go to 17. And it's when she's reading it, because this is interesting. I think it's right here.
I am a single mom of strong faith of an 11-year-old daughter. I've not dated or been in a relationship with anybody in fear for my daughter being abused by a man. I've been asked out, but never wanted to go down that road. Because I'm a woman of divorce for 12 years, what would it be biblical for me to remarry? Also, am I making the best decision for my daughter, not giving her a father?
So this is a very difficult question to answer without knowing more information.
Right.
Because
and the
there are-
background and the
yeah.
context of
I gave the whole of her reading it because it's interesting to watch her as she reads a question. Oh, this is why. Erica is the CEO, like she is the owner of Bible in 365 and Proclaim Streetwear. She is a woman. Okay. She's supposedly getting her doctorate. This is her company, Bible in 365. This is her show. Yes, James Kaddis is like the pastor on like payroll. Okay. But Erica never, and I said this yesterday, but I'm going to add to it today. Erica never opens or closes in prayer. She never answers one question. Even questions that a woman should answer. A woman, like there's one later about like, image issues and like eating disorders and like things that like obviously James is not a woman and he has his own issues with eating. He should not be giving any woman advice on this at all. Erica has nothing of her own to say. She never hears something in a question, whether it's a personal question or a scriptural question, and answers it herself. It's like, and she's taking notes. She doesn't know scripture. She's there learning scripture right now from James. She's like writing notes if she's really writing. But my point is this, a lot of the women that write in, especially the personal questions, they're wanting her to answer. They don't want James to give his freaking answer. She doesn't have an answer. She doesn't know how to answer because she's fake. And I just thought that was crazy. It's just like the whole show. She just goes, okay, yep, totally, amen, awesome, sure, yes, I agree, totally. That's Erica every show. Until the more recent ones where she's like crying and then like she uses it to cry. And there's that.
it, right?
That's right. Because there are legitimate situations where after divorce, it would not be biblical to remarry. There are some situations where that certainly is not the truth. But we would have to know more about that. The one thing that I would really want to explore more is the concern that you have of your daughter being abused.
Okay, it just started at 7, so I got to keep going.
By a man, because again, you have to go back to what is true, what the promises of God are. Are you going to lean in on those promises? Are you going to trust in the Lord? Are you going to stay attuned to what God has for you? And if it is indeed one of these situations where it would be biblical in your case and all is well, there's great accountability tools that you can pursue to make sure that the decisions that you're making are wise, right? And I don't want to get into more than what Charlie and Erica have talked about when it comes to their own marriage. But the one thing that I will tell you that I am impressed with them, and I know because I watched it firsthand,
really,
is before they got married, they were very careful to maintain accountability in the decisions that they were making. They weren't playing husband and wife. They were keeping to some very strict rules and guidelines about the way that they were living. And they opened themselves up to serious accountability, like real accountability. And then when they got married, they never let go of that accountability.
He's talking about personal firsthand knowledge. He is the guy that did their premarital counseling. He's one of the ones, and he'll time and time again say that he knows Charlie and Erica, their dating, courtship, and marriage better than anyone else. And Erica's there when he's saying it. She doesn't correct him. Okay. Why? So Charlie was a virgin. Okay. He was. He had his flesh under control. He had self-control. Okay. But with Erica's past, who did play house? We know that for a fact. Erica played house with JT Massey, living with them in their homes out of the United States and in the United States before being married. They're adults. You know what adults do when they live together before they're married. And she was a secular woman at the time. I mean, she still is. She's masquerading and cosplaying as a Christian, but you know what I mean? So I do think the accountability wasn't because Charlie needed it. It was because Erica needed it. This is nuts. I didn't catch this. Okay, so the letter, the lady said she was 12 years divorced with an 11-year-old child. I didn't catch that. Good on you, Jessica. Fake letter, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these are, I don't know, like the views on these older ones are like very low. It may be some women writing in from like his church. I don't know who pays for her Bible in 365 app. Honestly, I really don't. It was a perfect question for Erica to answer, considering that her mom was divorced 4 times, and yet she has nothing to contribute. Yes, so that's the thing. Time and time again, there's going to be most of the people that actually, hold on, all of the people that write in are women. I might be wrong by like 1 or 2, but me and my wife are watching these all the way through because you never know when they're going to say it. Stupid and crazy things. All of the people that write in these questions have been women. Erica has never answered one question. Why can't she answer the personal questions, right? Where like she should be able to speak to women with like body image issues. She was a pageant girl, right? Like, of course she's going to develop body image issues. She was so afraid of being captured on camera when she's pregnant because of her body image issues. It was a big deal to her. Her mom being divorced and a single parent mom. I know she was really divorced, but like wasn't really a single parent mom. But like Erica couldn't have answered any of those questions herself. What about any of the marriage questions from a woman's perspective? Erica doesn't answer any of them. She has nothing meaningful to contribute to this show. Why is she there? Because she has Charlie's last name. She's in Charlie's office. Yeah. She has nothing meaningful to contribute from herself. There's nothing there. It's empty. You know, an empty glass can't pour into another glass. Okay. It's empty. The empty vase. You get that Friends. That's a Friends quote. You're the empty vase. No, not you. All American women. Am I on the right one? Let me see. Yeah, I'm on the right one. All right. What number are we at?
So there is a way to do this and to do it right. And same thing with the story of my marriage and my wife. So you can do it right. Again, the question is always going to be, where are you at in your current situation? I don't know what the story is. We'd have to talk about that, but certainly it's something that's doable if all the right things line up.
Mm-hmm. Our next question is from Allison. I work full time.
Hear that? Here's another question from another woman that Erica could answer but doesn't. I'll let you hear the question. There is no answer because it's this guy giving it, but then I'll move to the next timestamp.
I'm grieving the loss of my son and take care of my elderly parents. This is my first time doing something like this, which I'm assuming is reading the Bible in a year. And I want to get it right. I find that I get most out of the readings by going straight to the.
Why did she air quote the readings? This is the one that I was thinking about, but nonetheless, she doesn't answer any question, and she could. All right, 20 flat. Let me go to the next one.
But I would start with the series In Spirit and in Truth, and then there is a question series that I do that I would also recommend going into as well. But I would go to In Spirit and in Truth first. That's what I would start.
He plugs himself.
Okay, cool. Our next question's from Nadia. It's a two-part question. I will read this kind of spark notes. She was a professional model for many years. She got saved 15 years ago, and she did her best to be more modest in appearance, putting God first. But she's currently struggling with an eating disorder and body dysmorphia, and it's affecting her health. She's talked to her church pastor. She's read scripture. She's prayed about it. But there's still an image stuck in her head that leads to addiction of this eating disorder. Can you give her some godly advice on what to do and some scripture that can help her and other women who are struggling with this? And then the second part of her question is asking about fasting programs or biblical related fasting devotionals, if you will.
Why wouldn't Erica at any point in this question say, let me answer this? It's her company. It's her show. She was a model. I guarantee you, they all like are forced into a box of how skinny they have to be, what weight they have to be, and all that. She would have developed, at least when she was competing, have some body image issues, comparing, like the whole concept of pageant and like you're comparing yourself to other women. Do you get the spot? Do you win? Do you not? Oh, it's because I have a little bit too much here and I'm not as tall, or I don't have as nice hair, whatever it is. She doesn't say, let me answer this. The woman doesn't want an opinion from an obese, middle-aged man. All these questions, in my opinion, they're wanting Erica's take and opinion. A lot of them are wrote almost directly to some of her life experience. She gives nothing. She has nothing to give. I think these letters are fake to mess with Erica's head past trauma. She might not know they're fake, but it's still a trigger he knows. Controlling. That's interesting, Jessica. That's interesting. I didn't think of that. That's an interesting take. Definitely possible. Let's hear what James says. He's, what did he say? Oh, we'll let him say it.
Okay. I will get this link to you, but this is really funny that this question came up as it did. The question's not funny, but
no, the question
it's just funny how God puts things together. There's no such thing as a coincidence. The person who teaches our women's study on Monday night actually...
Erica said that, remember? She doesn't believe in coincidences. Huh. You mean, was it a coincidence when Hunter Kozak read the question and then the FedSlop narrative happened to be right in the same, realm as the last question ever asked to him? I thought you don't believe in coincidences, but that just was a coincidence because you took a question from him when you went to the Barry Weiss sit down town hall. You're okay with him coming and ask you a question, but you don't believe in coincidences? Okay.
Called in sick. So at the last minute, I went in there and I taught through the end of, I believe it was John chapter 8 and all through John chapter 9. And I was addressing the women on the very issue of how the enemy lies and how he deceives women into thinking things that are absolutely not true. And in that Bible study, I give a formula on how to defeat the lies.
How would he know? How would he know how the enemy lies to women? How would
that
he
are
know?
being spoken to you concerning that very issue and many other issues like that, how you view yourself, that kind of a thing. Now, let me get into the issue of the fasting, okay? You are speaking to a man who at one point was 300 and probably 60 pounds heavier than he is right now.
And he's about 500 and something pounds right now, okay? Do the math. He was about 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds. That doesn't happen overnight. That's years. And honestly, I think that with that level of what he's about to say is destructive, intentionally harmful eating, I think he was possessed or oppressed at least by, a spirit of gluttony, right? And a demon that was tormenting him. And he's still not rid of it. But he felt himself to be an expert to give this lady some sort of advice on this issue, which is crazy. I'm going to let this play, and then I'm going to read that super chat that just came in. Okay. Just let me finish this so the whole thing will go together.
At my heaviest, let me just simply say, there was a come home reckoning that had to take place. Now, don't get me wrong. There were a few physiological issues that I had to deal with.
The physiological issues are nerve issues from being 1,000 pounds for many, many years.
Granted, but a lot of what happened to me was a result of not only very undisciplined eating, but destructive eating. Things that definitely contributed to my life being in the condition it was, my body being in the condition that it was.
You don't say.
So I want to give you this piece of advice, and it's really important.
This is what I find so stupid. I'm not going to go to a homeless person and ask them how to buy a home, how to save, how to give me financial advice. I'm not going to go to an atheist and ask them religious advice. Maybe don't ask an obese person that's still obese healthy eating advice and like fasting advice. Maybe not the right place to go to. Just an opinion. Just my point. Okay. Blake and Neff said in an interview that he didn't know Erica well before CK's death. I'm going to expound on that in a second, on Charlie Kirk's death. If so, how was she at the office every day and not know him well? Okay. I'll expound on this. Actually, none of them knew her. None of them. She wasn't in the office. They didn't even know when Charlie told them that she was a descendant of Vince Lombardi. If you guys remember that, when that got brought up by Candace, there's a clip of Charlie telling them about it and that she has memorabilia back at the house. They had no clue. No clue. Okay. They also go on to say, in I think the one you're talking about, Blake and all of them say that, yeah, none of them knew Erica before the assassination and Charlie's death. She was never there. That's the thing. Not a lot of people are going to invest time to go back and find all of these episodes where these pieces were said back when, and that's the truth. But now that all these new eyes came in, they knew that they could change, control, and shift the narrative and story and the backstory. Okay. That's why they bought certain website domains where people would Google like Tyler Boyer or Tyler Robinson or, Charlie Kirk's death. And it was going to route them to TPUSA and to their show so that they could control the narrative of Erica Kirk and TPUSA and Charlie Kirk. Most people won't take the time like we take to watch things in full and to go back and find out, what did they say before? How did they act before? And we can all say for sure, it's a lie. We know it is because of things they said before. She never went into the office. She was home every day. Her and Gigi were watching dad on the TV at home. Andrew and all them said they didn't know Erica. They didn't know her until after the assassination. Matthew Cicerone even said, and we showed the clip last week that he shared, she goes, "This is not my orbit." This was her first time ever introducing Charlie at the Turning Point Action thing in the summer of 25. Very first time. Nobody knew her. She was at home. Charlie himself, when she said, "Do you want me to come with you?" Charlie said, "No, your place is at home. You're needed at home. That's where you need to be." That's how it was all the time. Charlie was on the road 350 days a year. She was not in the office every day. Charlie wasn't even in the office every day. He was on the road a lot. Why would she be in the office when Charlie's not there? Charlie wouldn't be there. Why would she be there? She wouldn't. She wasn't. It's all a lie. Okay. He just goes on to lie about this. Let's go to the next thing. 24 flat. Wait till I show you what he says about how he manipulated. Wait till we get there. It's going to be insane.
The thing that I'm just so saddened by. I'll talk about Erica for a second, and I'll talk about my wife for a second. Erica, everybody knows, was a model. She meets the standard of what the world says is strikingly gorgeous. My wife certainly could have done the same thing. She never did.
If any of you guys have been watching this show long enough, we know what his wife looks like. She's not strikingly gorgeous. That's not me being mean. I'm just being objective. You know, she actually looks like she could be like from the Duggar family. I mean, some of you know, not bad, but I mean, like, she wasn't going to be a model. Like, couldn't have been a model. And like, what's weird to me is that he always compares himself to Charlie. Him and Charlie are the same, and his wife and Erica are the same. It's really weird and gross and not true. And so there's ulterior motives as to why he's saying these things.
But what makes a woman beautiful has absolutely nothing to do with the outward appearance.
How did you say that then? Okay, she is by all standards beautiful on the outside. Gorgeous. She was a model. But that's not what makes people beautiful. Okay, then why'd you just say she was beautiful from the outside?
Some of the ugliest women that I've met in my life fit the mold of what the world calls the most beautiful. It has nothing to do with who you are on the outside, and it has everything to do with who you are on the inside. And the more you allow the Lord to take control of your heart and your mind, the better your mind and heart will adapt to understanding the truth. And I'll just give you a quick understanding of this pattern and how it works. And that is this: you absolutely must, when confronted with lies that you know are coming your way, you absolutely must declare the truth.
Why aren't you telling Erica that? Why aren't you doing that? Why are you lying about Charlie? Why are you letting Erica lie about Charlie? Huh? Tell me. You must combat it with truth. Go look in the mirror and say that, dude. You're such a hypocrite. It's unreal. What a hypocrite you are. This is why Charlie wanted nothing to do with these people in the end. Okay? I forget the guy's name, something Epps. I've said it before. He was the guy from Catholics for Catholics. And Barron said it too. He had on good authority that, and Zach said it too, because he had something Epps on, the guy from Catholics, that Charlie was converting to Catholicism. Yep. He wanted to get away from Zionism, and he wanted to get away from all these people. Yep. Kind of resembles a catfish. Maybe it's the mustache. You know what catfish are, right? Bottom feeders. Bottom feeders. They eat the scraps that fall to the bottom. That is James Kaddis. Freaking bottom feeder, mouth breather.
You don't dialogue with the lie. You don't say, man, yeah, maybe my face needs this, or my body needs this, or you immediately confront it with the truth. Well, I'm struggling because, my image isn't the way that I think it should be.
Maybe you should take your own advice, homeboy. Okay. 2540.
When I was an active police chaplain, a lot more active than I ever was.
Oh, this is just funny. Okay. This has nothing to do with investigative purposes. This is just funny. We all need a laugh. We're going to laugh on James's expense. Here we go. He used to be a chaplain. He used to be a cop. And he's even going to out himself. And he's going to help us be able to look into his background more, because he's going to tell us what department he worked for. So everyone get your pens out and write them down.
Today, I'm not kidding you. I was way heavier than I am now.
We know.
And when I would get in a patrol car, this is not a joke, and I don't have a problem saying this. The car would lean on whatever side I was in. So if I was driving, especially the Crown Vics, if I was driving the Crown Vic with my uniform, first of all, it looked like they shoved me in there. I looked like a trained bear driving that thing. It looked like I was pinching my steering wheel because the steering wheel is so small, and my car would just lean. And I remember this one time, I'm sitting with my partner. Now, just give you an idea who my partner is. This guy is probably one of the most aggressive police officers I've ever met. Just hardcore gang detective, yoked, runs 10 miles a day, lives for chasing people, lives for the opportunity for takedowns of bad guys. This was one of the toughest cops I've ever met in my life. We're going down the street. I'm driving, and he starts losing his mind. I've been a chaplain for a few years. And he's like, I can't believe that, blah, 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 blah. And he's cursing his brains out. I mean, like he's literally every other minute, he's just cursing, right? And what is he cursing about? He's complaining about how his blah, 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 blah partner decided to put his life in danger by gaining 10 pounds. I slam on the brakes in the middle of the street. I kid you not. I'm in the middle of the street. I slam on the brakes and I look at him and I go, dude, you realize that I am the fattest man that has ever walked through the doors of the Bell Gardens Police Department. I shouldn't even quote the department. I just
No, you shouldn't. Bell Gardens Police Department. It's in Cali, I think. Thank you. No, you shouldn't have. Thank you.
So I gave it up.
Yep.
No, it's okay.
I'm the fattest man that's ever walked through the doors of this police department.
Yeah, we know.
And you're complaining to me about your partner gaining the same amount of weight that I will probably pee at the end of the day. And the guy loses his mind.
Supposedly. And then he's like, no, not you. You're different. No, not you. No, not you. You're amazing. You're the best. Shut up. All right, let's go here. I hit play.
I'm going back to this. So we sing, "We Are the World, We Are God's Children." It's a beautiful song. All the singers did a great job doing it, but we're not all God's children. As a matter of fact, each and every single one of us were adopted by God. We were not his children before we were adopted by him.
What about the Jews? You're a Zionist. What about the Jews? Oh, let's let him finish.
And the Bible says that when we receive Christ into our life, he adopts us.
So if you don't receive Christ, you're not adopted? Okay. You said it.
There is that adoption where we inherit all that's been given to us.
All the promises and the covenants you inherit through accepting Christ into your heart. What about the Jews? I thought they're his chosen people. They don't have to accept Christ? Oh, they can actually like blaspheme him and condemn him? Okay. But they can still inherit promises and covenants? No. You're so contradicting yourself and you don't even know it. You're an idiot. How did you ever become a pastor? That's why I don't know all Calvary Chapel pastors, but these are the big ones. And if the rest are like them, and I know not all of them, but like I think they're all Zionists, you know. This is just how stupid their theology is. It's insane. It's just so easily disprovably wrong.
And so it's a different thing. He was not our father until he adopted us. And we had to give ourselves to him, or really not give ourselves to him. We had to receive him in order to be adopted.
Yeah.
So these are the types of things that all sort of work hand in hand. And these are not like, this is not like some trick phrase. It's exactly what it says. But you just have to understand the nuancing behind it. It isn't exactly the same way we express emotion. And that'd probably be the most simple way that I could put it.
Oh, yeah, but you got to accept Christ, though, right? And if you don't, you're not adopted. You don't get the inheritance of the promises and the covenants. All right. I'm going to hold you to that. 42:15. Wait till you get to the one where it's going to be crazy.
And to develop a deeper rooted understanding. Think of it as like a regular relationship that you have with somebody else. I'm certain of the fact that when Erica first met Charlie, there were a lot of things that did not feel natural.
Really? When the first time Charlie met Erica, there was a lot of things that didn't feel natural. Why would that be? Why would that be? I thought she's a good Christian woman. I thought she locked herself in her room for like 9 months, twice, read the Bible cover to cover. I thought she said that she was living as the woman of God that she knew she had to be in order for God to bring her a man like Charlie. Why would it not feel right? I don't know. Let's let him say it again.
You are developing a proficiency and an awareness of the relationship that you are in. As time goes by, you begin to develop a deeper rooted understanding. Think of it as like a regular relationship that you have with somebody else. I'm certain of the fact
Here we go.
that when Erica first met Charlie, there were a lot of things that did not feel natural. Okay. I mean, it probably, based on the story that Charlie tells of the first time they got together, it felt like it was like a job interview. Well,
Okay. So I played the clip of Charlie the other day. All right. It might even be in my history. Let's see. Charlie. So the whole story that it was a job interview, I think is a lie. Okay. And I think it's a lie because this is now the second time they've said it. And then I heard Charlie say it himself, that it was a dinner date that felt, well, that kind of like, no, I didn't mean to make that watch later. I tried to remove that from my history. Let's see if I can find it. It might be so far back, I don't know where it is. Oh, dang it. I wanted to be able to play it side by side. I know my wife sent it to me. I don't know how far back it was. How long ago did I play it? Let's see. It's got to be like right here. Where are you? Where are you? Okay, I don't know. I don't want to do this to everybody. Yeah, I'm not going to do that to you. All right, I already did it to you long enough. He says it felt like an interview. Okay. If it was an interview, you don't say it felt like an interview. And then you don't have Erica then come in after the fact and say, no. It was an interview. It was. Okay. Just like Charlie the other day was like, I was on a dinner date with Erica for the first time, and you always should interview for your future spouse. That was the context. It was like an interview because he was like interviewing her for his future wife. I don't think it was a real interview. I don't. That's the story that's been crafted after the fact. Ready?
Right.
It kind of was in a way.
It was.
I mean, it was.
It kind of was. It kind of was. And then she goes, it was. Interesting. It wasn't.
It was a job interview.
It was.
So yeah. So
Oh,
so
now
did
it was.
no-
Now it was. It was. It was kind of like a job interview. It was kind of. Oh, it was. It was. Oh, it was. It was. Okay, it was.
Nothing feels naturally at first.
No.
You should have seen the very first time I met Nicole. I saw Nicole, and God told me I'd never been in a relationship before. I see her sitting in service. She comes into the sanctuary, and God tells me, "You're going to marry that girl." Never met her, don't know her name, don't anything.
He did the same spiritual manipulation with Charlie. Didn't know Erica a day in his life that we know of. Maybe we'll find out later down the line that they actually knew each other and that he was there to plant this whole thing. But as a pastor who Charlie didn't know, and just on first appearances that has a successful church and a good congregation, Calvary Chapel, at that time in 2018, 19, and 20, Calvary Chapel was still very well respected. It's only like after 2023, 2024, and 5, Charlie's assassination, did we all start to really hone in on like Calvary being corrupt and evil, at least the main 5 that I mentioned. He did the same thing to his wife, his future wife, that he did with Charlie. God told me. God ordained this. I'm a prophet. God speaks to me, and he told me, you have to marry Erica. He did the same things to his wife. Wait till you hear what he also did. And then you should ask yourself, should you trust a pastor? Should you trust any man that does what he is about to say he did? The answer is no.
And so I waited like a week or two, did the most admirable thing, and started stalking her on social media.
He did the most admirable thing to do after he saw his future wife that God told him he was going to marry. And so he took it into his own hands and stalked her on social media. This is an unmarried congregant of his church. He is in the most powerful and authoritative position in that church as a senior pastor, and he was stalking her on social media for a week or two. It gets worse. It gets worse.
Somebody in my position, I thought, okay, well, you know what? I know God wants me to do this. So
How messed up is that? A man that can't control his flesh, a man that can't get his flesh in submission, okay, is going to allow his feelings, his thoughts, and his emotions dictate his actions and his words, and he's going to use it to manipulate other people to convince them that God had told him this and that it wasn't some selfish, fleshly thing that came up from the pit of hell. Because we know it's totally a God thing to do, to stalk your congregants online and then try to convince them that God told you that you were going to marry him and that this was God's ordained blessing. That's holy. Oh, totally. Totally.
I send a little message to her and I say, hey, come up to the pulpit after service. And she was kind of freaked out by that.
You don't
And you want to hear my pickup line with
Yep.
my wife?
Yep,
I'm telling you, it felt natural. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Here's my pickup line. You're a red. You're a rare breed, and I'm praying for you. That's a breed, a rare breed. Like, wow, that's a slick pickup line.
Couple things. He said the same thing about Erica just in that last video. Okay. This is something he does. Okay. Second thing to point out, he messaged her before the service telling her to come up to him after the service. What do you bet? He crafted that sermon to lay the groundwork to what he was about to do. What do you bet? This guy is very, very strategic in his manipulation and perversion of the word of God and of his position. Okay. He sees her, already's lusting after her, even though he said he lusts over a juicy steak. Oh yeah, because you're not lusting over a woman that you're stalking online for a week and a half. Okay, maybe you need to go look up the definition, idiot. Then he gives a sermon after he messaged her to come up to him after, knowing full well he was going to hit on her on the stage, on the pulpit. Right after he gives a sermon, she comes up and he hits on her right there. You're a rare breed. I'll be praying for you. More spiritual manipulation. And then he says, and we were married 9 months later. So gross, dude. I despise this guy more every day. And Erica thinks this is funny and she agrees with him and thinks that it's cute. And that's the other thing, right? Oh, supposedly he's just like Charlie. Charlie didn't do any of that. Charlie would never have done any of that. Never. Never. You're nothing like Charlie. You're a disgrace.
I married her like 9 months later. Okay. But my point is none of that felt natural. No, I mean, none of it. Nothing. It's an investment. So if you're feeling like you're behind, it's okay. You got to plow through the work. And then,
because that's what you do when you're getting married. It's an investment. You just plow through it. It's work. You just plow through it, guys. Oh my goodness. He just goes on to put his foot in his mouth some more. Let me go to the next one. Is 50. Wait, I don't think let's see.
Why Bible in 365 is better than the rest.
Oh,
in many ways, because we're not just saying, here's your schedule, read it.
That's right. Bible in 365 is better than all the rest. You guys got to hurry up, sign up and buy it now and pay me money so that I can lie to you and distort the word of God and mislead you and tell you that I'm a Zionist and that you're going to be a Zionist too. And Erica's a Zionist. He's the senior pastor on her Bible in 365, and he says it time and time again with her on the show while Charlie is going. This is in 2025 when Charlie is going through this major kerfuffle. January 24th. The last one was April. The other one was October. All of the time, all of the year where he was leaving and said, I'm done with the pro-Philly cause. I'm done. Oh, did I skip one? I did. I missed one. Okay, sorry. I didn't see this. Okay, since they are Old Testament, then Exodus 20:17 states, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. Bet, 100%. He's been coveting Erica from the very beginning. It's so disgusting. Did I miss any others? hopefully I didn't. Let me scroll back and make sure I didn't miss any others. If I ever miss one, it's not on purpose, guys. I would never do that. Let me look. Good thing, like once I view it, it makes it like gray, and so I can tell. And then when I just pulled up my tab where all the supers are all kind of in one area, that one was still bright, which means I hadn't clicked on it, and so I'm glad I saw that. Okay, all the rest are gray except for this one. Thank you, Mystic, for the gifted 5 Blackline Brief memberships. Thank you. Mystic is the OG mod from the beginning. And then all the rest that are here too. Who is Dulcinea here? Yes. And Jim Carrey, OG mods as well. I don't know if MRK and Bree Baby is here. Or Jim Carrey. Oh, Renita's OG. Oh, Renita's OG. And she's our resident comedian. Renita is hilarious. All right, let's continue. Did I make it to the next timestamp? 54. We're almost done with this video, by the way. Okay. It's almost over. 54.
Their promise. It's not my war. That was basically him telling Israel, do what you have to do. They don't give the man enough credit for how.
Sorry, he's talking about Trump. And he's saying, so this is before the bombing of Fordo in the summer of 25. And he says that Trump told Philly, you got to do this on your own. But then doesn't do it on his own. So what changed?
How absolutely brilliant he is. He doesn't speak any Arabic. There's lots of things about the culture that he may not completely understand, but he's smarter than probably most human beings alive when it comes to this. And I got to think he's around smart people, like really smart people that are advising him geopolitically, but it's pretty amazing. My whole point behind this is
who's advising him geopolitically? Him, Bibi, Bibi's brother, which is his friend, the generals and the majors and the colonels in the IDF, which are his friends. He doesn't mention Charlie. Charlie was advising him. What about Joe Kent? What about Tucker Carlson? Doesn't mention them. Who is he talking about? He's talking about the other people.
Acting as though, maybe I'm wrong. He's acting as though somebody feeds him the Bible 24/7.
Who's feeding him? Because he's talking about biblical prophecy coming true with some of the decisions that Trump is making geopolitically and internationally, and that it's fulfilling biblical prophecy. It's not fulfilling New Testament biblical prophecy. It's fulfilling Old Testament biblical prophecy, which is in keeping with Philly's prophecy, which all these things need to happen before they can rebuild the third temple and their Messiah can come. So who is feeding him what biblical prophecy?
And a lot of his policy decisions are being based on things that we know are happening in Bible prophecy.
His policy decisions are being shaped by people that are Philadelphians. What can I say? He's telling us right here.
So it's maybe it's a self-fulfilling thing. I don't know, but it's really exciting. All that to say, yeah, they're going to be combined. It's one nation. It's one Israel. But
he's positive. They're going to be combined. It's going to be one nation. It's going to be one Israel. Good for you, buddy. Charlie was not holding that view in the end. You're gross.
Did God tell me? And if he did, then I'm doing it. That's actually how I married my wife. Did God tell me to marry my wife? Yes, I'm marrying her. I asked her, listen, I told her that God wanted me to marry her before I even knew the name of her relatives.
Because that's normal. He did the same thing to Charlie. Did the same thing to Erica and Charlie. Well, did it for Erica to Charlie. So this is a thing he does. This is a thing that he was successful in doing with his wife. And so he did the same thing again with Charlie. Man of God.
I didn't even know her last name when that had happened. But I knew what God told me. So
God,
if you know the promises of God, you know what God says is coming, then you're going to believe it. The other purpose that it served, and it was a remarkable one, was it was an example, and we know this also later from the scriptures, it was an example of...
Yeah, he's going to talk about something biblically. It has nothing to do with Charlie and Erica. That was it on that. All right, let me go to this next one here. Okay. All right, these people are evil, by the way. So on this show is going to be Jeremy Boring, Allie Beth Stuckey, Frank Turek, and some other guy, I don't know his name. They pretty much attack Catholics the whole time. Jeremy tries to say that there's like Muslims and Mormons that are, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. That's another theological thing. But we're going to just focus on the things that they say about Candace and Charlie Kirk. Okay. So the first one's at 58:10. Let me go there. Am I pulled up to it already? Right. Yeah, right here.
And Shapiro for 30 years.
I love Robert Barron. Of course, I don't agree with every theological aspect, but I do.
He's
love
a sweet guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I asked Father Steve if this is a particular weakness in the Catholic immune system. That it is from the outside appears to be much harder for Catholics to deal with Candace Owens than it is for evangelicals to deal with someone like Tallarico. Although I didn't use that exact example. And he said 100%. It's absolutely a weakness in the Catholic immune system for the reasons that we're outlining. That because the Catholic Church is hierarchical, there's less autonomy to deal with those problems. There's also probably a structure for how those problems get dealt with, and because Catholicism is, and I don't want to put words in his mouth. Some of this is my perspective, but because Catholicism is more sacramental.
No, this is just his opinion. It's all BS. Let's go to the next one. Wait till you hear what Frank Turek says. Let me go to yeah, but they trash on Catholics the whole time. It's nuts. 221:08. Oh, and they labeled this whole portion the domestic battle after Charlie Kirk assassination, and none of it's about Charlie. None of it until 222. Yeah, 222:08. Hold on. 221:08. Just kidding. I would have passed it. All right, right here.
Dr. Frank, if you'll allow me, you spent a lot of time on college campuses.
What a suck up.
You were very close to our friend Charlie Kirk, as he not only carried political messages to college campuses, but I think more and more throughout his life became an evangelist on college campuses. He was, maybe one of the great evangelists of our time, although in some ways kind of an unlikely one, because he wasn't doing it under the banner of evangelical or of evangelism.
It wasn't a crusade.
It wasn't a crusade. Yeah. And probably all the more effective for that. We've alluded to the fact that young people are being drawn right now to more Orthodox religion, Catholicism, in particular in this country. Even with the caveat that the Catholic Church isn't growing in the country, but in this particular demographic sense, it's certainly having a moment. I alluded in my monologue to the fact that the number of people who think that Christianity is growing in influence, or it has great influence in the culture, has doubled in the last 24 months. There's definitely something taking place in the country. Some of it.
What did you say doubled, Jeremy?
I want to make sure that I say it correctly. The number of Americans who believe that Christianity is
positive force.
I don't think it was necessarily positive, but influential in public life.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta say, I feel bad for that cute dog. That's a cute dog. Why is their couch the British flag? What's up with that?
Doubled.
Nothing wrong with Britain, but like, we're American. We're in America. Why isn't it the American flag? I don't know.
We all felt the beginnings of a great revival in the moments after Charlie was assassinated. I try never to say Charlie died. It's very tempting to say when Charlie died, because that's how we're used to talking about it. He didn't die.
He's murdered.
He was murdered.
Yeah, okay. By Tyler Robinson, you guys think you're so smart.
And then we all sort of felt some of the wind come out of that in the months that followed, and the sort of horrible, I believe, very spiritual battle that began to take place.
Demonic.
Truly demonic.
Can I say one thing about that?
Yes, you can, Frank, because every time you do, you let us know that you are a fake, pretend person. Because people don't go around with these predetermined verbatim statements that they say That's called a psyop. Chase Hughes, know how to spot a psyop? Repetition is just one of the things. I mean, there's many other factors on how to spout a psyop. He actually has like a 20-something point checklist on how to spot a psyop. What do you guys think? What do you guys think Frank's about to say? If those of you that have watched this show long enough, you should know some of his go-to phrases. What do you think he's going to say? Throw it in the chat real quick before I put it up. I don't have enough time to do a poll and then wait for it. Next time I should have done that. Dang it. All right. If you guys get to it, throw it in the chat what you think he's going to say right now. It's Frank Turd Turkey.
Yeah, I wish you would.
Jesus and the apostles say that Satan's a murderer, liar, accuser, and slanderer who seeks to steal, kill, and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
We had a murder on 9/10. What have we had since then after the memorial service? Slander, accusations, lies, seeking to steal, kill, and destroy. And people don't believe in the demonic. How could it be more obvious?
Yeah, how could it be more obvious?
He literally said the exact same thing every single time. Every single time. Every single time.
The great proofs of God are negative proofs.
Mm-hmm.
God, you guys are so stupid, all of you. All right, let's go here. Charlie Kirk. I think, let me make sure my timestamp is right. All right, 2:34. Okay, I started back a bit just to get the whole part.
One of the most, if not the most important primetime presidential address in President Trump's career. President Donald Trump has been clear for 20 years that Iran will not get a nuclear weapon. For 20 years, he has said that. Yep. Iran will not get a nuclear weapon. Now, for some people that are criticizing President Trump, your criticisms would have more potency if President Trump did not try to have a diplomatic solution beforehand. There was a 60-day diplomatic window, and Iran was just playing games. They were just going wishy and washy. I don't know if you want that. And President Trump said, look, on day 61, you're not going to like what happens. President Trump let Israel off the leash, and Israel did what Israel did. And President Donald Trump, he was very, very patient. He had a lot of restraint. Now, understand, this is not yet a settled issue at all, because some people are still calling for regime change. Oh, go for the head of the snake. President Donald Trump has actually said, we are not going to do that. We are not going to do regime change. And for those of you just tuning in right now, I do want to hear from the audience. Can you email me right now, freedom@charliekirk.com? Did you vote for President Trump, number one? And number two, do you support this operation tonight? I'm curious. I want to hear from you, freedom@charliekirk.com. We're going to get probably 10,000 emails in the next couple of minutes. Freedom@charliekirk.com. I have my email inbox up here, and I'm going to read them. And so it is very tempting and very easy to do armchair quarterbacking in an operation like this. Oh, he should have done this. Like, spare me. He had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Now, understand how it is presented. If Iran were to get a nuclear weapon and proliferate nuclear technology, the chances of them using it is one thing, but it changes how seriously you must take that nation immediately. Like, we have to take Pakistan a lot more seriously just because they developed a nuclear weapon. So,
hold on, though, because let me see the date of this. So June 21st, 2025. All right. So this is before BB offered the 180 million. This is before the Student Action Summit. This is before Hamptons. This is before the Aspen Retreat. Okay. I don't know that Charlie would have been aware if people within the administration, and I'd have to look back at when he went to DC. I think he went to DC. Oh no! If the thing was tonight, the Operation something Hammer was that night. That means he already came from DC, saw Joe Kent, begged Joe Kent to keep us out of war with Iran. He just said the neocons are drumming the war drums for regime change. Trump didn't want it. Charlie, we know now, asked not to have regime change, and he cautioned and said, don't go to war. Your base doesn't want it. And this is another way for him to tell the donors and everyone else, look at 10,000 people emailed and said, no, we don't want this war. But the whole theory that Iran was weeks away from a nuclear weapon has been a lie. Hasbara propaganda. Okay. Bibi's been saying it since like 1996. Oh my God, you're so stupid. All of you. Matt McKim. Is that a quote? Is that what I said about them? Thank you. I mean, it's true. It's true, right? It's true. Let's see. I actually have the quote. Let me go here. One second. Here it is. So Charlie himself is going to say it. Okay. Did I miss another one? No. Okay. I'm all caught up on the supers. Cool. Let's hear Charlie describe the first time they met, him and Erica. Was it a dinner? Was it a date? Was it an interview?
How did you know your wife, Erica, was the one?
Oh, that's knew almost immediately. I met her and we had a very, very long dinner, which was very close to almost an interview.
Close to almost an interview, not an interview. You don't describe an interview as a dinner that's close to almost an interview. No one does. I've never gone to an interview and said, it actually was a dinner that was close to an interview. I've never done that.
And no, you're going to laugh.
You're going to laugh.
But you should absolutely interview for your spouse.
So he's using interview as a stand-in. Okay. He's not using interview in its normal context as an actual interview. Charlie is saying you should absolutely interview for your future spouse. That is the only way this was like an interview.
But, by the way, if they don't check the boxes, move on and go to the next one.
Check the boxes for your partner, not for a position at Turning Point.
The dating for dating's sake is bad for you. It's bad for them. It's bad for everybody.
He's talking about dating for dating's sake, dating with intent. Nothing that he said so far describes this meeting as an actual job interview.
You should date with the intent to marry.
So it was about interviewing for his wife, future wife, and dating with the intention to marry.
I can say this from a male perspective. One of the problems is that
and he talks about how men, and I played this the other day, and I'll say it, that men view sex differently than women. It's young men particularly, and young non-Christian men, and even some Christian men, that it's purely carnal for a lot of men. That there's this spiritual, intimate component to it, and that it hurts a lot more women ever than it does young men. Men do it and they can move on, and it doesn't really hurt them. It doesn't have that same effect on women. It hurts women. So, and he says that that's messed up, right? And so that's also speaking back to what James said. He said it was a dinner, it was a date, and then it was like an interview. And then she goes, no, it was an interview. And then he talks about how that they had to be very intentful and to have safeguards and accountability. Not for Charlie. Charlie knew of what he needed to do. Who were the safeguards and the accountability for? Erica Kirk. Yeah. Yes, sirree. All right, I got another clip of Charlie here.
You're a bit of a critic of the school system. Well, what is the matter with you that you're criticizing the system that has made you so wonderful?
Hold on.
Well,
hold on. Oh my goodness. My bad. Hold on. Let me back that up because this is cool. This is Charlie really young. Okay.
I understand that you're a bit of a critic of the school system. Well, what is the matter with you that you're criticizing the system that has made you so wonderful?
Well, it's not all because of the school system. There have been some very good teachers, and through my years at Wheeling High School, I enjoyed my time.
Also, do you see his ear here? His ear had this bend in it. Remember from the Aspen video, people were pointing at his ear and saying that is why they thought it was AI. I still think it's AI, but this is actually how his ear is. It has this like flatter portion of it that looks like a piece was kind of chinked out of it, but it's not. It's folded in and flatter right there.
But there were a lot of times where I felt that the teachers were pushing an alternative agenda, and that our textbooks were written in certain ways to make us think things that were not true. They were trying to remove the founding documents from the U.S. history classes. They said they were not relevant. They really spent a lot of time on the progressive era and our economics textbook was written by Paul Krugman from the New York Times. And in it was factually incorrect data. I stood up to my teacher several times, and I try to get other students to do the same.
I understand.
And Charlie was so dope from the very beginning. He was awesome. Let's see. I know I had another one. I think it's in my watch later folder. This is not supposed to be my watch later folder. I do not like that person. Oh, yeah. Let's go here. I forgot about this one. This is a good one to end on, too. It's Charlie and Erica. So let me clear out some of my tabs so I don't get confused up here. All right, we did that one. Check. That one. Check. That one. I'll save the rest for later. This is a good one.
Special hour episode for you today. My wife joins us, Erica Kirk,
Hi,
the beautiful,
everyone.
legendary Erica.
I love you so much.
I love you.
You're my best friend.
Welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Thanks, babe. I'm stoked.
So
It's good to be back. It's been a while.
we have asked the audience for questions.
Yes.
And-
They came up with some great ones.
Well, there were some not so great ones too that Daisy had too. There were some X-rated ones too, weren't there, Daisy?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, not good. Not radio appropriate.
Got
Not
it.
appropriate for anybody. It was I don't know. All right. So we are taking your questions and hopefully we'll be able to answer any thoughts that you have.
Great. Do you want to take you choose the first one? I'll pepper in the next one.
All right.
There's a few of them.
Well, this one's easy. How long have you been married and when did you know it was time to get married?
We've been married since 2021.
Mhm.
Engaged 2020.
So it'll be 4 years.
4 years.
How does she not know that? This is one of those times where 2021. Charlie didn't hesitate at all. 2021. 4 years. Knows exactly when it was. Erica? No clue. She had to take a guess.
We laugh about this because our dates are so messed up because of babies. Meaning they're
Nope. So he also is covering his mouth, and later he's going to show signs of being uncomfortable when he starts rubbing his neck when she's talking about her trip to Jerusalem.
so many dates to remember.
Mm-hmm. I know. I get all the anniversaries.
Anniversaries, like kids' birth
May
dates.
14th.
Yeah.
August
all the
23rd.
things.
That's actually him like snapping back at her. How funny. I didn't catch that the first time around. So she's like, yeah, it's so hard to keep track of all the dates. And he just spouts them all off. August 23rd, May 8th, da-da-da-da. Like, they're not hard for him. He nailed it. He nailed them all. What's wrong, Erica? Where were you? Daydreaming about JT Massey?
How did we?
Charlie's biting his nail. There's some physical discomfort and like being uncomfortable and a little bit frustrated. He put his hand over his mouth and now he's like biting he's biting on his fingernail.
So we've been married for.
How did you know it was time to get married? I mean,
almost 4 years.
She doesn't even know how long they've been married. What is going on with this lady?
Years in May.
Proposed and she said yes.
How did we know? You just know.
It's also don't waste your time, right?
Don't waste your time. And plus, we were ready to start our life together.
That's right. Okay.
Why was that weird? I don't know that I watched this one before. That was weird. When was this filmed? No, not a month ago. What the frick? May 8th, 2026. They edited this and they put it back out. What did they cut out? Where's the original? It's not even linked in here? What the heck? This is not when it was freaking filmed. Why would they have pulled it down and then re-released it on May 8th, 2026? And it doesn't even have a link to the original video? That's so weird. Look how powerful Charlie's social is. 5.81 million subscribers. And you want to know why they're not going to change the name? They're not going to get rid of the social. They would never do that, even though they should, because Charlie's no longer with us. It's sad. Yeah, that's the other thing from, so, let me read this real quick. For a cup of coffee tomorrow or a cup of tea. Is that a cup of tea or is that a soup? Is that soup? Is that split pea soup? Is the soup green? Great content. I think Charlie had to be embarrassed about this clip. Do you have PayPal? Oh, maybe I do. I need to actually link it. What I do have is I have the channel's Venmo here that you can donate to, or you can do buymeacoffee.com/the Black Line Brief. Those are two ways you could also donate or support the channel. If you don't want to give money through YouTube, which I totally understand. No one has to donate anything or support anything. The only thing I ever ask anyone to do, everything you do out of the goodness of your heart, and if you feel moved to do so, do so. If not, it's totally fine. There's no pressure here. The best thing everyone could do is hit the like and the subscribe. And then when we're not done yet, it's just a perfect time to say this because the question came up. Hit the like, subscribe. When the video posts, you can write a comment. That really helps the video. And then you can hype it for free. Those are other ways you can help support this channel for free. When you do, if you do want to give through Venmo or through Buy Me a Coffee, it gives you the option to give, like to write a note and just say what you would want your donation or your support to go to. And then I make sure that it goes to that thing. And now that we're growing, I know it's been a while in the making, but eventually we will have like a online merchandise store if people are going to ever want that. No one has to even do that. No one has to do anything, but it'll be there in a little bit. It's taking a while to find out, well, to save the money to buy the order, but also to find like the materials and the concepts and the designs and stuff. So that'll be coming. But if, do you guys think I should have I do have a PayPal, but it's a personal one. And I just want to make sure that I don't have any of my personal information linked to it. If I'm going to like post it on here for people to see and it's live and it's out there, I got to make sure that none of my like personal identifying information is on there that, you know, negative people. You guys wouldn't do that, but there's not good people out there, you know? So May 8th is their wedding anniversary. Yeah, he knew it all. He knew it all. She didn't. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? It's usually the other way around. You know what I mean? I remember all my wife's birthday, our anniversary. I remember when the day that we met, June 16th, and July 6th is our marriage. And then we have twins, so their birthdays are the same day. But I mean, I don't know why it's so hard for her to remember these important dates. It's like, these are days your life changed forever. It's like, it's the same thing. Like, you know where you were when September 11th happened. Everyone knows that date. Everyone now knows where they were on September 10th when Charlie was assassinated. Okay. When you meet the person you end up marrying and you stay with them forever, you remember the day. When you get engaged, you remember the day. When you get married, you remember the day. When you have kids, you remember the day. Erica doesn't remember the day. I find that to be weird.
An easy one.
That's easy. You pick one.
Who is more conservative and why?
Erica.
Yes.
By far. Not even close. I am a moderate compared to Erica.
Andrew always jokes that once you got married to me, you got more based.
That's true. That is true. No, Erica is very conservative. And yeah,
I was raised well.
Yes, you have a great mom.
Great mom.
Great parents.
My grandparents.
Great parents. Parents, plural. So not a single parent mom. Where's the one that she said? This is a 30-something video. I don't want to watch the whole thing right now. I can get the timestamps out later that we can watch just the parts that are really important. because we're already at 3 hours. And once I get to 3 hours, my legs are numb. my bottom's numb, and I'm sitting on pillows on top of a cushioned chair. But it's I think I need to get a new chair. Yeah. Here, let's watch this. Just the beginning of this. This is Charlie with Tucker in 2024. This is just for those of you that are new to the channel, September 5th, 2024. For those of you that are new to the channel, one of the things that we do every show towards the end or at the end, we always watch clips of Charlie Kirk. And if you guys have really good clips that you would ever want me to show at the end, email them to me at theblacklinebrief@gmail.com. And I'll show them and we can watch them together at the end. It's a good way to always keep Charlie as our focus, to remember him, at his best. And yeah. What does this say? Michelle Mabel, what's up? Gifted 1 Blackline Brief membership. Thank you, Michelle Mabel. Did I say that right? I told you guys I'm bad at that. Hopefully I did. I mean, that one looked pretty easy. That one was easier. I'm going to laugh if you write back, you're like way off. No, that's not how you say it. All right, let's this is a long clip. We're just going to watch a couple minutes of it and see what him and Tucker are talking about. Let me see. It starts. Oh, wait, let's go to the beginning. The beginning looks funny. Let's watch Charlie.
Carlson, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Hit the subscribe button and listen to this entire conversation at members.charliekirk.com. You also get a special hat when you become a member. So get your special hat, listen to this entire conversation, members.charliekirk.com, and hit that subscribe button. Enjoy. Tucker Carlson, welcome back.
Oh, Charlie, I never roll through this town without seeing you.
Well,
it's always the.
So what's really weird, you guys, is thank you for Republic Tea Room became a member. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a team member. What's really weird is, so this is in 2024. James Kaddis was making videos attacking Tucker then. Some of them are on his own. Some of them are with Erica Kirk. Candace and Tucker, James Kaddis attacks with Erica there sometimes and on his own other times. Yeah, that's James. Okay.
Highlight.
It's that's the advantage of being in Phoenix, is that you're like one of the only shows in town, so everyone kind of just comes on by.
Yeah, and it's like Phoenix, definitely. I've been coming to Phoenix my whole life as a native Californian, and your studio increasingly seems like an oasis in Phoenix.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's better architecture than most of the buildings in Phoenix.
That is true. This whole
Higher
town,
ceilings, a little bit.
Well, I would say almost every city in the West is an offense, except San Francisco is really kind of an offense against architecture.
But so what's your take on Frank Lloyd Wright?
Certainly.
I ask because he has a whole outpost here.
Yes, I'm aware. I mean, I'm not impressed by Frank Lloyd Wright. I'm not. I mean, don't even get me going on the subject of design. I become so unbearable. Yes. But no, I mean, I think a building of any kind should serve the physical needs of the people inside of it. And one thing that I've always been unimpressed by in Frank Lloyd Wright's designs is they don't work very well.
Yes, no, they're not functional.
They leak.
And if I'm not mistaken, but like some of the homes in the portion of Florida that I know that you're in actually are Frank Lloyd Wright inspired or look like Frank Lloyd, correct?
Right. I mean, there's a whole there's a school of architectural design out of Sarasota, Florida in the 60s, which is very much related to what was going on in LA at the time and earlier in the 50s.
Oh, I did mess it up. It's Michelle Mabel. See, I'm so bad. Sorry.
50s, which is modernist in a sense, but is also kind of rooted in the landscape, makes use of the natural environment around the building, which is the key, I think. But just one thing about Frank Lloyd Wright, I really like Spanish colonial. And one of the things I like about it is that it sort of suits the environment in which it was built. So like an Adobe home.
It configures to the
100%. It responds to the landscape. So if you're building in, 19th century Maine, you're building out of wood. Of course, you're building out of pine because that's the main.
So what's interesting, like they're just talking about architecture, but you can tell like Charlie has a fondness for Tucker and Tucker has a fondness for Charlie. They both respect each other. They like each other. They're friends. They care about one another. As someone's like pastor or wife's pastor, like why would James Kaddis ever find it to be okay to attack Tucker and Charlie Tucker and Candace while with Erica? I get it. He has his freedom of speech. Charlie Kirk's a free speech absolutist, and he's fine to do whatever he's going to do on his own. But why ever say anything with Erica there? And Erica go, Just, I don't think you can explain that as being okay. I wouldn't be okay if my wife did that. I just wouldn't. So, all right, guys, we're at 3 hours and 21 minutes, and I need to eat dinner and get ready for bed. And it's been a great show. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like and the subscribe. It's the best way to help support the channel. You can also write a comment in the video once it posts and hit the hype points for free. All right. And then if you want to, you don't have to, you can donate or support the channel here. Just scan the QR code, or you could scan this QR code for buymeacoffee.com/theblacklinebrief. Just make sure when you do so, you write a note or a memo as to what you would like your money to go to. All right. And I make sure that it does. Love you guys so much. God bless you guys so much. And thank you guys so much for everything you guys do for me in this channel and this community. I really do think it is the best community out here. And we work really hard to make sure that it stays that way. Okay. Love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.